ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Curt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Come on, St. Louis hockey fans, stand up and cheer. The Blues are back strong. This is our year. It's the Blues' turn now.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's the Blues' turn now. With that Al McKinnon slap shot, you know we can't lose. We are St. Louis, the home of the Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis.
Let's do that hockey.
Come on, St. Louis. All over the hockey universe, the note is the news. Everybody's digging on the St. Louis Blues.
Welcome to Season 8, Episode 14 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We're broadcasting live on Wednesday, August 7th, 2019. This is franchise episode number 200 all time. Your hosts tonight are yours truly, Curt Price, Bill Day, and Jeff Ponder, and we'll be with you for the next little while talking St. Louis Blues hockey, Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues hockey. Follow the show on Twitter at LGB Radio. My handle is at Curt Price. Bill's is at Billy Blue Note. Jeff's is at JPonder94. Follow us on Instagram. Like us on the Facebook. And the website is letsgoblues.com, where you can listen to past episodes, browse the discussion forum, as well as get some cool t-shirts, mugs, and stickers, including the latest t-shirt, which is a Blues and Stag beer mashup. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty awesome. So check that out. Stag Beer was the official beer sponsor of the Blues early on in their heyday.
You know what I heard once? I heard that they used to have a brewery out in Illinois.
In Belleville.
Yeah.
My dad worked there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really? I've never heard that
You have
before.
never...
Ever in my life.
Are you patronizing me?
I'm also pandering you.
Pandering me?
He's also panhandling.
Are you panhandling me?
Panhandling you, sir.
Are you patting me down?
I might be doing that, but that's later.
That's what that is.
I got some tricky fingers.
From way over there? Man,
Happy 200, guys.
got long arms.
Yeah.
Happy 200.
200. Kurt, we were talking about this before. Kurt and I, it's 200. You, it's
Right.
like, what, like 150, 140?
Probably. Yeah.
Right, we'll start keeping track.
Yeah, I feel like I'm, like third wheel here because
No, even then, I wasn't part of the summer series stuff. So you.
You're still part of the show.
Well, we're all part of the show. I'm just
Always
saying
a
that
part of the show.
okay.
You know, when I record
It's
every
200
episode,
for all of us.
When I record every episode, I imagine you guys are sitting right next to me the whole time. I actually have two little dummies with your faces on it. And I feel like I'm talking to the same people.
Okay, all right, I like
We
it.
have the same intelligent conversation.
or more so. And Jeff Quirin too.
Yes.
Happy 200th, Jeff Quirin.
Yes, exactly.
Who was with the show at the beginning of season 1. So
Season 1, Season 2.
Part of season 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly. But yes, he helped us get the show going. So thank you, Jeff.
I was halfway expecting him to be like down the hall in another room.
and
Bill, we are
special
replacing
guest.
you again.
a surprise guest. The paternity test says you are not the father, and then Jeff walks in. We're all in the same room for the first time in a while too. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when was the last time?
The last time you were here,
Yeah.
whenever that
Wow.
was, it was early season 7 sometime.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I've been doing a lot of drinking this summer, so I think we all
I think a lot of Blues fans have been doing a lot of
Yes.
drinking.
It's been a great summer so
It
far.
has been a fantastic summer. So you've had your ongoing summer series that you've been doing.
It's made me step back a little from the drinking and the partying because it is a little bit of work, but no, it's been fun. Well, excuse me. We'll get to our beers
Oh,
of the
please.
episode in a minute.
It's
but
work.
This is
It's fun.
Oh no, it is fun.
It's work like having sex is work.
Sometimes it can be, right, Phil?
Phil? Did you say Phil?
I said Bill.
Oh, I think I said Phil.
I know his name.
I know. I heard Phil. I assume you said Bill, but I heard Phil.
You know I hate being put on the spot on this topic.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, yeah. So no, the summer series is going along pretty well. Been missing having you guys on, but, having some pretty good guests so far.
We've missed you.
Yeah, I know you have. I know. You guys listen every week and just say, oh, man, I just miss talking to him every single week.
I'm not going to lie. It's hard to keep up. I listen to what
There's
I can.
a lot.
There's a lot to
Lot
keep.
of content.
What's great about the Behind Enemy Lines summer series that you're doing is that it's not time sensitive.
Yes.
Where like during the season, if you miss a show or two, it's outdated news. This is not. This is reflective.
That's what us in the industry call evergreen content.
Evergreen content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reflection on the history between the two teams and
Yep.
yeah. Right.
That's why it was a little nicer to get some of it done early because I, obviously started recording these in like March before the season even ended. So, that was. I'm glad I did that because a part of me was like, you should at least wait till the playoffs start or wait till the Blues get knocked out because we all know that's going to happen. I'm really glad that didn't happen because I would literally be recording something almost every day. So
Literally.
But yeah, so one thing I want to mention with the summer series, and I know I mention this every week, but a segment we added that we actually announced on our last live show because we just kind of came up with it on the spot. If you have not emailed in to be a part of the Keep the Party Going, which has been a lot of fun to do, email us at radio@letsgoblues.com. That's right, Curt and Bill. I've been saying it right every week. radio@letsgoblues.com.
It's about damn time.
Email us and let us know how your summer's going, how you're enjoying the Blues Championship, what it all meant for you, how long you've been a fan, whatever you want to say. You've heard the series. If you've listened, you know what people are telling us. So go ahead and chime in. Like I said, it'd be fun to get at least one of those on every single episode of the summer. We're 13, 14 episodes in.
13. This is episode 14, so there's 13 of the summers.
And we've been able to have every one so far, and we've got one or two lined up so far. So let's get a couple more, guys.
Yeah, those are fantastic to read when they come in. I love them. They're just and some of them, man, are emotional. My God.
Right. No, so the one that got me the most was the guy in Japan.
Yeah.
Just walking around the castle listening to our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Like that blew me away that would happen. I mean,
he knows where it's at.
Yeah, little known fact. I was born in Japan, was there very brief time, and
Trump's been trying to get him out ever since.
That's right.
Bill is big in Japan.
Right. I am a foreigner. No, I am not. I was
just said like a true St. Louisan.
Yeah.
Foreigner.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a lifelong bucket list thing for me to go back to Japan and just to find out, like, even though I was not there, didn't really get to experience the culture. My older sister did. She lived there for 4 very formative years of her life, and we had a lot of Japanese cultural artifacts around our house, and I always had this connection to it, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And when we got that, and I've to find out that there's somebody there listening to our show, it's just like, wow, that just blew me away.
Well, if you ever want to end up in Kyoto, Japan, I think you got a guy you can stay with.
Yeah.
No, that was great. And for me, the one that, there's been a couple that have kind of tugged at my heartstrings, but the last one from Bob that I read, our longtime listener, that one I did have to pause for a little bit in the middle of reading because I'm like, okay, I got to take a step back.
Talk amongst
for a
yourselves.
second.
A little bit clipped.
I'll give you a topic. So that was a little tough. And then there's been a couple other ones where people have talked about, the spending it with their parents and, Blues fans because of their parents. Obviously I relate very closely with that. So it's so much fun to read though. Like I said, every time Curt gets the email and then forwards it on to me and Bill. And every time I perk up because I'm like, all right, awesome. And I love reading them even before I read them on the air. So good stuff.
Yeah. So if you got a story to tell about your experience, your thoughts, your emotions winning the cup, share it.
As long as it's not about how you did get to party with the cup somewhere in St. Louis or in your favorite.
Right. Yeah. We don't care. Nobody cares entitlement that you may think you have.
Right.
Well, I mean, seriously, what do they expect? That he was just going to like trot it up and down the Telegraph Road?
Some
was
people.
the expectation.
That was yeah.
That's why you moved to Oakville.
That is why I moved there. I thought, well, Pat's going to stop by with he's going to stop on my house, right?
He didn't bring it to the bar I was at, so screw you,
I hung
Maroon.
out at the Walmart off Telegraph all day. He never came.
I heard he was going to go to this bar. I went there and waited there for 4 hours. He didn't show up because, God damn it. You know what? No. You're not entitled to anything. You're not. You just, if you want to see the cup so bad, it's on display all the time at the Hockey Hall of Fame. Go there and see it. You can see it, and you can touch it, kiss it. I'm not sure how much else you can do with it, with those cameras, but you can do all kinds of stuff. You can just go there. It's a great experience.
Wow, I thought you were going to break into Faith No More's epic. You could touch it, feel it, touch it, kiss it, feel it,
Rub it down.
Taste it so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Are we done with with that aspect of this show? Or are we going to add?
Let's do beers.
Let's do beers. You're almost gone already?
Yeah.
I have a whole fridge over here if you want
I've
some
got
more.
a lot of beer left.
I think I'm gonna have to borrow.
Let's see.
Okay.
For those of you watching on TV, let's see. We've got this guy I'm going to drink next. Then we got, let's see, this guy, yeah. Let's see. More. Yeah, here's more beer. I got a ton of beer here.
That is Jeff Portion's.
Let me see.
Jeff Portions. Jeff Ponder's portion of the
Jeff Portions.
Jeff Portion's ponder of the.
That's my stage name.
Right, Jeff Portion. It's
Come get a portion of Jeff Portion.
It's his porn name, Jeff Portion.
That's
So
gonna be piney.
yeah,
Yeah, it will be.
and these are the beers that
Teal Tone.
the Teal Town USA was gracious enough to send our way for winning the bet in the playoffs.
Who I will be talking to tomorrow.
Yeah.
For the summer interview series of the whatever it's called, the Behind Enemy Lines.
who's,
I don't know. Who cares?
We've only been doing.
Who's on it with you?
It's gonna be AJ and Eric.
AJ and Eric. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to having those guys on. If
All
you're
right.
watching right now, guys, prepare for tomorrow. We got a lot of playoffs to talk about.
I enjoy both of those, gentlemen.
It's funny because I was going through that, and I go through the talking points, and I send them over, and I say, "Hey guys, here's a lot of stuff we should talk about." Most teams, it's like random player, maybe one playoff series. Dallas and San Jose, there's been so many playoffs just to talk about, and those kind of episodes are fun because it's like, let's just talk playoffs for an hour and a half.
Well, Bill was at my house for a memorable Game 7 against the Sharks.
The game that broke Jeff's heart.
Yep, that's not something I'm looking forward to reliving tomorrow.
No, that was.
And-
But it'll be fun to
Broke
talk about last
Kurt's
season.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really, the Blues Sharks playoff history. Apart from, I think there was 2 series in the early 2000s where they won back to back. It just alternates. It goes back and forth. And that's why I was very comfortable lining up against them in the third round this year.
Yeah,
You tell Eric and AJ that I said hey.
I will tell them that.
All right.
And I'll make sure it's recorded so I said it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll listen to it and expect to hear that when it's released at podcast form.
Maybe if we're lucky.
If I'm a lucky guy.
Yes.
Right. And we would be remiss if we didn't say thanks to Chris, who, as we understand, is no longer with the Teal Town people with their podcast, but he was
Instrumental.
the guy that was so instrumental in getting this beer and great selections. Whoever had input on this, great selections. I've enjoyed everything that we've had so far,
and will be as a
we shall reciprocate
of good faith of a good gesture of faith. We're going to send them a 6-pack.
I hear he's actually joined. He's crossed sides because the Blues beat the Sharks. He's just had enough, and he's coming to Let's Go Blues Radio next season.
So we should are on the senior. We should have him on when the Blues play in San Jose.
Yes,
as a
on the
Blues
scene reporter.
Yeah, right. That'd be great.
Okay, so Mike, before we get into beers, and I hate to do this because we're talking shop here. The chat, is the chat working in YouTube? Because we usually have a pretty active chat, and
do.
I'm not seeing anything
I'm
right
not
now.
either. Maybe I don't know.
If you're out there, because it says we got people watching.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of people watching. You got it paused or you playing it?
I got it paused.
Okay, good. Me too. So yeah, and that's we've got a lot of people watching, and there's no chat. So if you want to, maybe we haven't really gotten into anything yet. To be fair,
true. But usually we get a couple, hellos and
hey,
how's it going, guys?
Dan Draham says Gloria. That nice.
There
Perfect.
we go. All right. Well, we know people are out there then.
Got
so
the
people
ball
can
rolling.
Hear us.
Right. Is this on? Hello. Hello.
Is
Right.
this thing on?
Is this thing on? I've never said that before until now. Is this thing on?
I heard that in a porno once.
Is this thing on? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a stretch.
That's a smart.
That was a stretch.
Well, porn's not known for its acting
No.
or dialogue.
And I don't think anybody cares.
No.
Not a single person cares that the acting is shit in porn. Anyone buying any Enterprise Center seats that they were selling for $750 a pair?
No.
I know, Jeff, you recently bought a pair, right?
Yeah, from the Checkerdome.
Yes.
But
I have one in the corner from the Checkerdome.
Yep.
Along with
nice.
some blue ones in the garage and a seat back up here. But yeah, so mine were not anywhere close to $750. And yours was, I assume,
It was less.
Far less.
I don't mind saying it was about $350.
But you got
For the
two
pair.
seats. Yeah.
and it also
from the
didn't-
arena.
It also didn't come with the brackets. I had to buy those separate.
And the
But
brackets aren't cheap.
no, they're not.
No.
But still, I was pretty happy with that price. The gentleman
Sure.
was he was moving, and he was moving to northern Chicago, and he just did not want to have to lug everything with him.
A
He
Blues
was selling,
fan?
Yeah, he was a Blues fan.
Moving to
he
northern
also-
Chicago.
He also didn't want to. He was trying to sell his Busch Stadium seats.
Busch?
And I was like, man, if I didn't know my wife was gonna kill me if I would have told him right now, because I was thinking, I'm like, I could just hand him another $200. Say, dude, I'll take those off your hands right now. But I'm like, yeah, I would probably be killed the minute I walked in the door.
The old Busch Stadium seats, the ones that when they replaced them, or I guess before they tore it down, there were a ton of them at Longacre Park in Fairview Heights, in like a storage area, and they were just in a pile, just a ton of them.
Yeah.
And it was open door. I drove by, and it was like a storage facility off the side of Longacre Park, and there was a rock driveway up to it, and there was no one around. I'm like, I could have taken God knows how many seats. It's just there for the taking. And I didn't do that, but that is, I kind of regret not stealing something that I regret being a good person at that moment, because I could have, there were like 500 of them in a huge pile. I'm like, no one would have missed two.
I regret being a good person a lot. I do that way. I was way too nice there. I could have been a real dick.
Wait, I'm going to check with you guys real quick and make sure that we're still Stanley Cup champions for 2019. We are?
Hang on.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Let's see it. I haven't seen it in person. There you go.
I'm talking about my tattoo.
Your tattoo.
Those.
Yeah. Put your tattoo to the mic so we can hear it.
He just. Hello. That's what I thought he was doing.
Let's see.
Nice.
I'm gonna let the people on the camera see it. So I'm gonna get up for a second.
And is it?
Tell me if I'm close.
You are. That's up a little bit. Up here. There you go. Perfect.
Sorry, I'm not flexing.
Oh, you're flexing.
Yeah.
That's
Stop flexing.
Stop flexing.
So I told the story on Behind Enemy Lines, but the reason I decided to get a banner around it that says "Do I look nervous?" was I told my wife back in when the Blues. Let's see, I can't remember exactly what game it was. Maybe it was the last game of the season when they were playing the Canucks. I told my wife, if Binnington gets the Blues a cup, I'm getting a Jordan Binnington tattoo. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, and then it happened. So I'm like, all right, I have no regrets saying that. I'll do it. That's fine with me.
Did that chick ever get J-Bo Mister tattooed on her
I
ass?
don't know. That's a good question. Has that been revisited on Twitter? I mean, should have been.
I know I saw lots of calls for it, like during Game 7.
She may have like disconnected her Twitter account.
She might have just shut off her whole phone.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
I mean, he had a key assist in Game 7, so I mean,
Yeah, I've watched the games enough now that I go back and I'm like, the one guy that I see a lot of like mistakes over and over with, the one guy is Edmondson.
oh, I know,
Yeah, I do too.
You know?
yeah,
Yep.
It's
and that's why he was a healthy scratch for a number of games in the playoffs,
Right.
and
Right.
So
That's why I thought he was maybe expendable.
I didn't. I thought he was young enough to where I didn't want to give up on him.
No.
Now, granted, if we were to acquire something from a value, that's a different story. But to move him in a sense where we're giving up on him, I would not be a fan of, because I think he's still young enough where we could get some. I mean, he could turn it around. He had a bad season.
Yeah.
So, but
We're getting ahead of ourselves, and we still
we
haven't done
we are.
yours.
So, the official beers of episode 200. Bill.
I am going with the last of my beers from the Teal Town bet, because I drank a lot this summer. Juice Nukem.
Juice Nukem.
It is a wonderful, wonderful logo, and it's
Is it a fly swatter? Is it? Or is that like
it's a paddle?
a paddle
Yeah.
for stirring up the beer
Yeah.
Vat or whatever they call it? Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
And yeah, very, very juicy IPA. I'm
You're impressed with the IPA-ness of it.
with the
Say
juicy.
IP anus.
I thought I said IPenis, but
It's all about penis and anus with you, right?
it's either IPA-ness or IPenis.
Yeah, it's all good.
No, I'm impressed with the juiciness of it. It's, although I will say, with all of the IPAs I've had this summer, I did have to go back this week and buy a 4-pack of Founder's Breakfast Stout, because I was
your
missing
go-to.
it. I was missing it. The dark stuff. I can't wait for colder weather and hockey season and stouts.
I know, right? That's my favorite time of year. Jeff.
First of all, Vegas Blues fan Heitzman, there in the chat there, I wanted to ask you, are you the one that's friends with Guy, Hawaii Blues fan? He always talks about he's got a friend in Vegas, right? It's a big Blues fan. So I'm wondering if that's him. So if that is, let us know.
Well, I'm sure it is. There's only one Blues fan in
Only
in
one
Vegas.
Blues fan in Vegas. I'm sure
And
that's the
Hawaii.
case.
We know there's only one in Hawaii.
He says no.
He says no. All right. Well, there is at least 2 then. So
Okay.
That's good.
Woo, all
There
right.
you go. So we've got for me, I'm
Look at
doing
you guys together.
Yeah. I'm doing a little St. Nicholas Brewing Company, Peloton. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peloton Pale Ale. This was the gentleman who had told us one of our live shows that he brewed his own beer, and they're out of DuQuoin, Illinois. I've never heard of that. I imagine you guys have.
Don't they have the state fair? Or used to?
That is the state fair.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Never. Well,
Awesome.
you're from Missouri, so
I am from
You
Missouri.
wouldn't know. There.
I've only been in Illinois. This is only my 3rd time in my life. That's not true.
I was gonna say, because you've been here like 3 times,
That's true.
and you live like right across the river.
I literally could walk to Illinois from where I live.
Anybody could literally walk to Illinois. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, well, it would take me 15 minutes to walk to Illinois.
That's not true.
Yeah, okay, 20 minutes.
It would take you a half an hour to drive from the river to your house.
No,
That's not true.
no,
20
his
minutes.
New house.
My new house
He
is
lives in
right. I live
Oakville.
right off
Oh, okay.
Telegraph.
All right. Sorry.
Like I said,
damn
he
it,
moved
Curt.
there.
I don't know
because
where-
Pat Maroon was going to
Yeah,
bring him
Right.
to his
Pat Maroon
house.
never showed up, and I'm still pissed at him, and I hope he doesn't sign. So anyway,
He's not going to.
This is an excellent beer, and it's an awesome logo. I'm sure you guys got to look at that.
They do
That's-
have they do have fantastic
stuff.
labels on their beers.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, very good stuff. So if you're ever in DuQuoin, Illinois, and ever hear of St. Nicholas anywhere, give it a try. Good stuff.
So Saint Nick brought you a nice beer.
He did. He did.
Yep, I have a couple. I have that and the Scotch Ale in my
Okay.
fridge still.
You know, for a brewery named St. Nicholas Brewery, you would think around the holidays, Christmas time,
You would
they
think.
they at some point, surely, right? They would have released a beer with a Saint Nick theme. Yes? No? I mean,
think?
that's like a right in their wheelhouse, right?
5.8% alcohol per volume. That's not
That's
bad.
solid. I mean, it's good. Yeah. My beer of the show is the from Evo Twin Brewing, Even More Jesus. I'll hold it up here. Oh, even more Jesus. It's an Imperial Stout from Evo Twin Brewing. It's really good. I bought this at Gazelig in the Grove in St. Louis, where you guys, I know Bill has not been. Have you been to Gazelig? It's a cool place, cool bar. They have a lot of stuff on tap, a lot of good stuff on tap, and they have a number of coolers that there's tons of beer that is very affordable, and you can just take a can or like this out of the fridge and
Oh my God, I have been there.
go to the bar and they'll put it in a glass
yeah,
for you. And you
I've
drink
been
it
there.
Yeah.
I actually am friends with a friend of a guy who owns the place. So yeah, I have been there. I was there at the grand opening.
Okay.
A great spot. You're right. That's
It
an
is.
excellent spot.
I enjoy Gazelle. And they have pizza there. You can buy pizza
yeah,
too. Yeah.
exactly. Man, I totally forget that. I blinked on that.
I enjoy Gazelle. And actually, now that I think about it, I didn't buy this at Gazelle. But
Irrelevant.
my comments about Gazelle are still the whole true. But I bought this at the beer cellar, I think, in
Craft beer cellar,
Craft beer cellar, yeah.
South City, or Clayton.
Clayton.
Okay.
And it was I went there for beer bingo, which is it's nice. You buy beer, and you get based on the size of beer you get, whether it be like an 8-ounce pour, 12-ounce, 16-ounce, you get that many cards for bingo. And if you buy a second beer, then you get that many more cards. So one beer will buy you like one or two cards for the entire evening for bingo, and they give away stuff. Nothing major, but it's fun. So yeah, it's a good time. So you drink and play bingo. I have not yet won in.
So that's like the step before you just play bingo on your evenings. So it's good for us like middle-aged people.
Right. No, it's good if you want to drink beer.
That way you
Good
can
beer.
That way you can still tell people, oh, I'm social. I go out and I drink, but you're really playing bingo.
Right.
So that way when you turn 60, it's not so weird for you to just go start playing bingo.
Right. Exactly. And I want to say that in my life before going to the beer cellar, the craft beer cellar, I have never won any kind of bingo thing ever. And since I've been there a couple times playing beer bingo, and I have not won a damn thing there either. So
you won a raffle item at the Ponder tournament.
A couple times, yeah, and that was a lot of fun. Which I'm a very lucky guy in general. Which that didn't surprise me. That didn't surprise me when I won the stuff at the hockey tournament. But not winning at bingo pisses me off because everything else I'm generally relatively lucky. I'm gonna do well, but except for bingo, I can't fucking do bingo to save my life.
And with the ladies.
That's hit or miss. I mean, really. I mean, it just depends on the day.
Yeah, right. I hear you. Story of my life, brother.
But anyway, the Even More Jesus is very good. So pick it up if you have the means.
I highly recommend.
I highly recommend it.
It's so choice.
It's so true. That's the second Ferris Bueller reference today.
Yeah.
Thanks to Bill and the what was it? What was it? I forgot. The guy from Shea whatever.
Shea Key or Shea Louis.
Shea Louis. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a hoot.
It'll be a hoot. Yeah. Right. I may have to get snotty. Snooty? Snooty.
That's what that's from. I was trying to figure that out earlier.
See?
Yeah,
even with the GIF
now.
you didn't know?
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
Puck Guy 14. Oh, that's Eric. San Jose. It says, hello with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 O's. What did you eat out of the cup? Like the cup in the background there behind Bill?
Was he talking about your jock?
That can't be right. I haven't eaten anything. We drank out of it the episode after I got it when we won.
We had the Russian River beer.
Yes.
I
can't recall.
The pig. What the hell was it?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. Well, Eric's question. If I were to eat something out of it, just off the top of my head, for some reason, I'm thinking tortellini. I would eat tortellini out of the cup.
I'd go pretty much opposite. I'd do ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
See,
Joel Edmondson did it for me. Poutine.
Oh, that's a good call.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Poutine.
I'll stick with. Is ice cream the opposite of tortellini?
I mean, not really. I just thought hot, cold. It's
okay.
different.
I got you. Yeah. Okay, that's
Opposite
good.
of tortellini would be like steak. I don't know.
No, the opposite tortellini is like moon rock or something. It's I mean, let's get serious. It's like the phrase apples and oranges. It's like apples and oranges. They're completely different. Apples and oranges are very similar. They're both fruits. It's like apples and feet. That's what you want to say.
All right. Well, then I will never eat moon rock out of the Stanley Cup.
Okay, today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL. Wow, we're long into this show. We haven't gotten a damn thing done.
Nope.
Today in Blues history,
You get us all together.
Yep.
courtesy of the @STL Blues history Twitter account, which is a fine Twitter account. Follow it if you're on Twitter. If you don't follow it, follow it if you don't. There's no other option.
Right.
I mean, really, seriously.
off
If
the
you're listening,
He's
you're
my neighbor now. Did you know that?
is he?
No,
Yeah.
really?
Oh.
Yeah.
You're his neighbor now.
Well, no, he's
Right.
mine.
Did he moved it after you moved it?
No. But that's what I
Like
consider
next
him.
door?
He's walking distance.
Oh,
Yeah.
like so within
Like I literally
walking distance for who? Because that makes a difference.
Wow.
Right. Is he in Illinois?
Let's
Are you
just
walking-
yeah, right. Now let's just say I've walked by his house a couple times.
Oh, like
Look out, STL Blues history.
peeking in the windows,
Hell
right?
yeah.
I got you.
Yep.
All right.
Peeping Jeff.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's the
it
term
is.
in Missouri.
It is.
Don't you have to register with the?
I already did.
Because you moved.
Yeah, I already
Are you within
did.
so many feet of school?
Oakville knows, okay?
Are you within 100 feet of a school? Because I don't think you can be.
He's pederast, dude.
1983. Today in Blues history. Today's date, 1983, which is August 7th. Jack Quinn was hired as executive vice president and director of business operations by the St. Louis Blues. For those of you that don't know, this gentleman, Jack Quinn, was kind of the guy that left the paper trail on the whole Stevens thing, Shanahan thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, thanks a
Right.
lot.
Yeah, the when they did the Blues 50th anniversary TV special, Bernie Federico talked about what a dick he was.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't have the greatest legacy here.
No, didn't he? He passed away, right?
Yes, he
I mean,
did.
he's
Yeah,
long
he was
ago.
already passed by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so his one of his brothers was in George W. Bush's cabinet, who was Secretary of the Army, I believe,
Dan
at some
Quinn.
point.
Dan Quinn,
Yeah,
right?
no. Kay Quinn.
Kay Quinn.
is his daughter.
Doctor.
She is his.
Is that
daughter.
right?
It is.
I heard that before. Yeah.
Dr. Quinn.
Okay, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Medicine Woman.
Yeah. Well, a show I never watched. That as a kid who needs like some kind of a goofy like television stimulation, like flashy colors and crap. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman appealed to me not at all as a
Yeah.
kid. That was not appealing whatsoever. So I never watched one episode. I'm sure it was a fine show, but I just never watched it.
Murder She Wrote. Same
Murder,
thing.
She Wrote. You know what? I actually did watch some of that because I think it was on at my grandparents' house or something. Yeah.
And it was better than talking to them. I said it out loud.
You know what? My grandparents used to have on Murder, She Wrote. Barney Miller was a popular thing over there. Bowling on Saturdays.
Bowling. My dad used to watch
I used to
bowling.
love bowling. I
Yeah.
loved it.
What,
No.
what's the famous thing that Weber said? Pete Weber.
Suck it.
Don't you know who I am?
Don't you know who I
What does
am?
he say? Oh my God!
I remember him from dropping the trophy and breaking the trophy
Oh man!
that he won. No,
Don't
that
you
was
know who I am, or something like
Dick
that.
Weber or Pete Weber. Dick Weber was the father. Pete Weber's the son.
I don't
Right.
know. They're all the same.
Both from St. Louis, right?
Yes.
Yeah, or Belleville, actually. I think Belleville, Illinois. We're not giving Belleville, Illinois is not going to give St. Louis credit for a celebrity. I mean, come on, Jimmy Connors. Thank you. Yeah, we're going in the same direction. Jimmy Connors, Belleville.
Who do you think you are? I am. You guys seen that, right?
Who do you think you are? I am. What does that
You've
mean?
never seen that? When Pete Weber's celebrating, he just starts yelling gibberish.
No.
Who do you think you are? I am. He literally just yelled that out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I knew I wasn't crazy.
My grandma was on Bowling for Dollars, a show back in black and white TV days.
Right. No. And so that there's a bet in Slapshot on does the guy say hi to all the guys down at the.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Yeah.
Just want to say hi to all the guys down at the
That
plant.
was Bully for Delish. And Braden won the bet.
On today's date, August 7th, 1979, Joe Micheletti was traded to the St. Louis Blues by the Edmonton Oilers for forward Tom Rolston and defenseman Risto Siltanen. Where are you going? Oh, in the fridge. All right.
You offered me.
I did. You have your. Yeah, you don't get the Madagascar. You can have pretty much anything else in there.
Even the Goose Island.
We're
No.
taking a brief intermission here, folks.
Bill is going through. Bill is perusing my fridge. Yeah. There you go.
So let me talk.
3 by mice. No. All right.
Yeah, this Rolston guy.
So
I don't
anyway-
remember Rolston Perino. Was that his name?
Yeah, the founder of the dog food company. No, but so both players that we sent to Edmonton, Rolston and Siltanen. Siltanen had a nice career: 562 games played, 90 goals, 265 assists, 355 points. But neither player were part of the Oilers Dynasty Cup, which came a few years later. Actually, Rolston came the closest. He was traded to the Penguins the season that the Oilers won their first cup, during the season, like 29 games in or something like that. So that's got to suck. That's got to be a big ouch. Poor fella.
Fucking embarrassing.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. I say that a lot to my kids.
Figure it out.
It's so perfect. If they're complaining about something or they can't figure something out, I'm like, figure it out. And I walk away.
Folks, if you have not seen Letterkenny and you're a hockey fan, you absolutely need to watch it on Hulu. Great stuff.
It is fantastic.
That's
All right.
been a weekly thing. One night a week.
See,
Sit
my
down
wife's-
and just
my-
watch clips all night.
My wife just does not get it. She doesn't enjoy the show, which is fine. But so when
No,
she
it's
was
not
going to
fine.
school, and
It's
it was
not-
like
it's not fine.
it was like, okay, you know, she's working. She goes to bed at 11. I'll stay up, watch a couple episodes, and go to bed. Well, now that she's been off for the summer, I've watched maybe 2 episodes the entire summer. She goes back to school tomorrow, so I'm like, yes, I can start watching Letterkenny again.
And then greeter in the morning. Okay, Jessica. Jessica, okay.
Okay.
So we got, let's see, happenings. Schmaltz was traded to Toronto for Borgman. What's his first name? Jorgen? Not Jorgen. Jorgen Borgman.
Jorgen Borgman.
Jorgen Borgman. It's the Swedish chef trade. Jorgen Borgman.
Andreas
I'm
Borgman.
going to pause the show. I laugh,
Oh,
cackle hysterically.
We still have people listening right now?
Yeah. Like a bunch of them.
Oh, shit.
So
From Rodney Metz, new
It's-
season of Letterkenny, October 14th.
the Swedish.
Thank you, Rodney.
Only on
Nice.
Hulu.
Only on Hulu.
on
Yeah,
Hulu.
they're off of was it Crave TV?
Yeah.
Whew.
All right. So yes, Andreas Borgman. Welcome to the team.
The Swedish
Andreas.
chef trade.
I-
Borg.
Jorgen Borgman.
All right.
That is
Enough.
how he will be known for this show from now on.
He's a
It's-
20.
It's the new Why Not Bennington.
Oh, if his nickname is not the Swedish chef, it should be. So, Borgman is a 24-year-old physical left-handed defenseman. Just what we need. Another left-handed defenseman in the organization. Two-way defenseman, heavy and hard to move. Wins a lot of puck battles. Also has good offensive instincts. Has a hard shot. That is from EliteProspects.com. So,
A little lacking in foot speed, I've heard.
lacking in foot speed. Well, that comes with big physical.
Yeah, right.
They're right after the trade. Somebody posted a clip of him in the AHL, like doing the skates the zone, laps everybody, comes back to the point, lets go a big shot, and it's like, don't expect that every night.
No.
No,
This is not this guy.
I mean, we used to see Yanni Hakanpää do that. You know,
I mean, yeah,
what
based
happened to him?
the
Ducks signed him, actually.
the analysis of him sounds promising, but I think he's like projected to be like a third pairing guy at best. So maybe
Which
it's a
Schmaltz
fine
had played
move.
himself out of.
right. No, exactly. And
Schmaltz wasn't going anywhere
Schmaltz
here.
got a look, and Borgman actually got a look with Toronto too, and
Right.
he didn't stick there. So Next season with a couple guys, Bomeister contract's up. Edmondson, his contract, who knows what's going to happen with him. So, I mean, a couple spots may open up. Maybe he gets a look in training camp or something. I don't know.
That's what I thought. I thought maybe he's just a guy that, you get an injury on D. Obviously, you can bring him up. He's a good physical guy to throw in your third pairing. But I think if you look at the contracts, and because I think they knew Schmaltz wasn't going to do anything here. They didn't like the way he looked start of the year when he was playing. It was pretty obvious. And then like you said, you mentioned the 1-year contracts we've handed out to defensemen. Maybe he's a guy that could step in for Edmondson, maybe even Bortuzzo if you want to let him go, even though he's right-handed. I don't know. He'll get a look. We'll see how he looks in training camp. Should be interesting, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him start at least in the AHL, but could be the first call up for sure.
He's a lefty. And like I mentioned, so the lefties we have in the organization, Gunnarsson, Edmondson, Dunn, Bomeister, Wallman, Mikkola. So guys that are probably ahead of him on the depth chart.
Don't forget Wojciechowski.
Right. Brewer's around there somewhere. So, yeah.
Right. That is the one puzzling thing. I mean, I know it's Schmaltz wasn't working out here, and it's change of scenery for both of these guys, but giving up a righty for a lefty in an organization that is cluttered with lefties.
Yeah, that puzzled me a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. I was like,
that.
I was hoping when we acquired him, I'd be like, oh, well, maybe he's a righty for a righty. No, he's a righty for a lefty.
I mean, I tried looking. Maybe I mean, there's some guys out there that prefer to play the offside. Maybe he prefers to play the offside. So maybe I don't know, but it's just possible.
That's an abomination. It's not right.
Well, I play the offside, Bill.
It's not natural.
Then again, I also play men's league.
Right. Well,
left.
What?
You said right, so I said left.
Okay.
Because it would seem on topic.
Okay.
God, we're rusty.
No, we're not rusty. We're having
I feel
fun.
like you two are rusty. I think I'm okay.
We're having fun. The Blues add Marc Savard as assistant coach. Mr. Savard, in 807 career games, has 207 goals, 499 assists. That's got to eat at a guy. I mean, to be one assist shy from 500 and retire.
Isn't it Courtnall that's
goals
1 point away from 600?
Is it really? Okay.
I could be wrong on that.
Well, Savard's thing was concussion related, so that's why he couldn't continue. Yeah, right, exactly. Right. So that's got to But so 706 points, 292 on the power play. The last 4 seasons of his career in Boston, he was a point per game player, 305 points in 304 games. 131 of those came on the power play. So
799 career points for Jeff
Courtnall.
Courtnall.
That's, I mean, he played in the NHL. You can't be complaining to him.
No, but I mean, that does suck.
I know. It's got to be like, one more.
Yep.
You know what?
I saw him at Game 6 of the final.
You what?
Right by me. And,
Courtnall?
Yeah. And a whole bunch of Blues were...
You sure it wasn't Russ? Because they look the exact same.
No, it was definitely...
Do they?
Jeff. It was definitely
They kind of
Jeff.
do.
No.
You don't think so?
Jeff had pointier features, pointier nose. I used to watch Russ play for the Canadians all the time. Jesus, guys, come on!
I'm just saying.
Come on.
It was just I agree with you. I think I could tell them apart relatively easily, but the whole pointier features thing was kind of funny.
I guess you're right.
It's funny. Come on.
For some reason, I remember them looking a lot more alike.
So he retired, and since retired, he worked in broadcasting as an analyst on Hockey Night in Canada and on the Leafs pre- and post-game coverage on Fan 590 in Toronto, which is a fantastic station to listen to, especially around trade deadline time.
I do actually. I've listened to him a couple times, and he's good. I think he's been on, I can't remember the name of the show he's on now, but former Blue Jeremy McLennan. I think he does a great job.
Noodles.
Yeah, he does a great job on the Fan 590 in Toronto, and he's had Savard on a couple times. So he still knows the game, obviously. He's a smart guy, so it should be interesting to see what he can do. He's
been working in coaching, running drills and development in the Peterborough Pete's organization, which is the write-up on that NHL.com and the St. Louis Blues Sports.com had, but after a little like
Investigative
Googling,
research?
a little minor investigative research, because I was like, when I first heard this, I'm like, okay, oh wow, he was running drills in the Peterborough Pete's org. I was like, that's a very highly regarded, OHL team. So that's pretty good. And then, no, he was not with the OHL Peterborough Pete's. He's with the AAA Bantam Peterborough Pete's, which is 13-year-olds. So that kind of took the wind out of my sails as far as like, ooh, we got a guy who assistant coach who was developing OHL players.
Have you guys seen his YouTube videos?
Marc Savard's.
Marc Savard.
I have
He
not.
has a YouTube channel.
Training videos?
No.
Yes, I have stick taping.
The stick tape.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he's got YouTube videos up
Yeah.
on how certain players tape their sticks.
I saw the Tarasenko one.
Yeah, I did too.
Did you share that one?
Adam Gold did. Friend of
Okay,
the show,
that's
Adam
where I saw
Gold.
it. Yeah, that's where I saw it. Adam Gold.
Yep.
What a fantastic name, Adam Gold.
24 karat baby. I'm sorry, Adam, because I know he's listening.
Oh my God.
I've got to share this. You know what his license plate is, right?
I don't. Why would I know that? I don't know.
24 karat.
Oh my God. That's funny.
It's glorious.
That's funny. I like
Those
it.
don't. I mean, you all know Adam Gold. Come on, the Gold Plan. Look that up on Google. He's a famous guy.
Oh yeah, no, exactly the goal plan.
We know a famous person.
which
Yes.
which is a much better way to go. I mean, or close to it, right? I mean,
The disincentivization of
tanking. Right?
If you come to the Ponder tournament, which you all should, I don't have a date, November 23rd, I think. It's a Saturday. Adam, last year, sat me down with a couple people and told us about how his plan would be going in the NHL right now. Like, if they were actually following his plan. And, man, it was interesting. It was super interesting.
He has a YouTube video up when he gave a presentation somewhere about it. It was a big deal. But I watched it, and he at the time he went over how his plan would have panned out at the time.
Yeah,
which was interesting. It is fascinating stuff for those of you who are into that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about the tanking issue, the NHL's issue with people tanking. The Buffalo Sabres a couple years ago tried to get McDavid. He has a plan to stop that from happening. And
Apparently
still make
so
it
did Gary
competitively.
Bettman.
Yeah, but no, it's his plan actually works. He's got mathematical formulas that actually prove that, like, hey, this would actually work.
It's science.
It is.
You can
It's
argue science. It's
Yeah.
science. You cannot argue science. It is science. Period.
Yep.
Adam Gold, what a guy. So anyway, Marc Savard, maybe we'll have some insight on how to fix the Blues power play, which was like the only real negative in the playoffs. I mean, it was awful.
As soon as I heard about the hire, I'm like, it's got to be for the power play.
It has to be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because nobody's leaving, right? I mean, I haven't
And he's
heard Ott's leaving. I haven't heard.
he's an offensive guy.
Right. No, and he's
a hell of a player.
Right. He
Yeah.
was a hell of a player. And it was terrible that his career was cut short by concussions.
There's a four and a half, about almost 4.5 seasons with Boston. He was a point per game guy. So
Yeah.
that's impressive. And quite a few in the power play.
You know, I remember most about Marc Savard, and I mentioned this on, I believe it was the last Behind Enemy Line show. He scored 4 goals against the Blues the night they won the President's Trophy.
The night the
He
Bruins
was
won the President?
No, this was the night the Blues won the President's Trophy.
Because that was a high scoring game. The Blues came back and won.
I think
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a 6-5 game.
Yes,
He
right.
scored 4 goals in that game.
It was against
Calgary.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
at that game. Yep.
No.
Right. Which is where Berube knew him from.
Yeah, that's
Calgary.
true. Actually, yeah. That's true.
Calgary.
Calgary.
By the way, Cat Church also, man, there's a lot of new people commenting right now, so it's good to hear from
Awesome
you guys.
sauce. Yeah.
Cat Church says congrats on 200, so thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm curious, Cat Church, are you a new listener? Or you've been listening? Or are you like a
And is
We're
that a
here
church?
for the Speedo episode?
Is that a church for just one cat, or is that multiple cats?
Are you a cat lady? Cat person?
Let's-
You know what? I always wonder why the reasons why people choose the screen names they do. Sometimes it's interesting. Cat Church.
That's an interesting one.
It's got to be a story behind that. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely says catcher.
No, I was. Oh, there was the Nordstrom save.
Oh, the save. You
The
don't call it-
save.
you don't even have to call it the Nordstrom save.
We've
It's
got
save.
we've got Game 7 on here in the studio, Blues and Bruins, and we got the third period, just under 11 minutes remaining in the game.
So if we start celebrating in about 16 minutes, you'll know why.
Returning Blues. The Blues made some qualifying offers to 9 of their 11 RFAs, which is restricted free agents for the Lapers. I amuse myself. Yeah, right. So, Sammy Blais signed for 1 year, $850K. Fabry signed for 1 year, $900K. Some people thought hated this signing.
Yeah, let's talk about these in bunches.
Right.
So
I agree, yeah.
So the couples here. So Blais, perfect signing. for
I
him.
agree. I love it. I love it.
I thought the Fabry signing. I was fine with it.
Me
1
too.
year, $900K. Prove yourself, Fabry. Come back into the lineup and prove you can be a top 9 guy again.
Yeah, I liked it. There were some people outspoken about how they did not want the Blues to pursue him at all. I'm like, the $900K is a win-win.
I'll admit, I was one of those people. I'm like, you know what? Just don't even put all your energy towards getting the guys back that matter. I was on that bandwagon, but then when I saw he signed for $900K,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was an option.
Sure.
Okay.
Right? Why? For him, why would he want to leave this organization right now? Like he's
Coming off a bad year.
Right? He had a bad year, and there were signs. There were signs early. I thought in the he scored the first goal in the Dallas series. He looked okay in the Winnipeg series, but Blais was just a more effective person.
Blais was
more
a body.
effective
Man,
player.
he was a banger.
He was a big reason the Blues scored that first goal in Game 7.
Yeah.
He just kept going to the puck.
Right.
I mean, head hunting and everything.
Yeah. Like, so cheap.
I think for Fabry, the big thing for him is confidence, and he hasn't gotten it back yet. He had a string of just terrible games. I mean, think back to that Ottawa game. I mean,
Oh God, you bitched about that for days.
Yeah, he just completely blew his assignment, and didn't play for another couple of weeks after that.
And it was warranted.
Right.
Very warranted.
There was no reason why we should have lost that fucking game.
Lost to Ottawa.
Right.
God, I shouldn't be mad right now. Right. You can't lose to Ottawa.
We can laugh now. There we go.
Because Shen just scored.
Shen just scores. Yeah, that's. I love his reaction to his celebration. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Yep.
Little
This was
windmill
the
fist
point-
bump. Fist.
That was the moment I think they all knew, yep, this is
is
happening.
This was the point everybody knew.
And that was when I was at Enterprise Center just
Yep.
fucking losing my mind.
I mean, Petrangelo's goal was the game winner, but this goal was the one that sealed the deal.
What do you called the next goal? The Sanford goal? What was it, an NHL 18 goal or something? Or an EA Sports goal?
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
It was a pass back door, slam it home. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And Perron.
There's the save.
Oh my God. On Nordstrom. That is, I can't watch that
we
enough.
need to get a camera on the TV too for next season so people can see what we're watching.
If I can swing dual cameras, we can do a dual feed. Yeah, maybe.
There you go.
I don't know. We'll see. Since Google Hangouts on air went away,
Yeah, that's an interesting.
we're
thing we
exploring
could
other
talk
options,
about.
which tonight is one of them. So
Yeah, there's a reason we're not going to be opening it up later. Unfortunately, people. Our option of opening up is not available because Google Hangouts is gone.
yeah, not in this show, but
will
future
do it in the
shows.
future, yes.
Future shows will have the option. We just
We'll
gotta
figure it out.
Yeah, we got a few options available that we're gonna work with.
Fucking
So
embarrassing.
Fucking embarrassing.
figure it out. Figure it out. Sanford signed for 2 years, $1.5 million per. I thought that was high, but maybe that's just me.
Add Sunquist in there. Go ahead.
Sundqvist signed for 4 years, $2.75 per. So, one, are you surprised by the dollar value for Sanford and the term for Sundqvist?
Yes.
Both.
I was surprised. Well, not for Sundqvist. I'm very happy with that deal.
Me too.
Okay.
I mean, shit.
I'm not
coming into this season. He was the guy that I was like, he'll never fucking make this team. It takes him 30 strides to turn a circle. And how many clutch goals did he score? How many clutch hits did he have? I mean, fuck, he took
How
out
many
Grizzly.
great, how many great memes did he have? How many wonderful smiles did we see in the Stanley Cup DVD?
Maybe Tom
my
Wilson.
God.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny how the Tom Wilson hit on him that injured him kind of helped him. In retrospect. Well, no, I'm sorry. They put him on, was it IR? And that allowed him to stay with the team.
Right.
And allowed him to stay up here.
Right.
And then he got to play because of it when he came back. So that
and he,
yeah.
fuck, he was effective.
Yeah. So and he stayed. That was just crazy how that worked out because at the time we're like livid about Tom Wilson's piece of shit, which he is. But
I mean, listen, I'm not a Crosby fan. I've made that known. But like when Crosby said we made a mistake in that trade, that made me say, okay, when an all-star player, superstar, generational talent comes out and says that basically a guy you projected to be on your fourth line was a mistake to trade away, it's like, okay, there's something there.
Who's not a tough guy that's going to protect him.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a guy that he saw skill in.
Yeah. And he's right.
Right.
I mean, we saw it. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't have the foot speed, but
No.
he's God, he's so good on the kill. He's great in the defensive zone. He can get the puck out, and man, he's tenacious on those boards.
He's got
can't knock him off the puck.
He's got the hands around the net that Maroon was advertised to have. Mm-hmm. That didn't have.
And you know what? We'll get to Maroon in a bit,
Right.
but I mean, the reason that I'm okay with Maroon walking away is because we have Sundqvist.
See,
And I know Maroon can score these crazy Keith Kachuk type goals here and there, but I just think what you want out of Maroon, you're getting out of Sundqvist.
See, my take on that is what you wanted out of Maroon, you're getting out of Blay.
That too. Yeah, good point.
He's the big body,
Yeah.
I mean, just the one for one comparison, the easy comparison, big body, left hand shot. But Blay can skate a little better.
As I say, he's quicker.
And I don't think Maroon would wind up for a slap shot on a breakaway.
No.
Not a chance in hell. Yep. That was amazing.
God,
that was one of my favorite moments of the playoffs. I mean, that wasn't even in the finals. The final. That was, oh my God.
That was round 2.
That was amazing. I was like, that guy's got balls. Holy shit.
This is a game I remember. Vegas Blues fan just mentioned he had 2 goals here in Vegas against Golden Knights. He's talking about Sundqvist. Last game, Blues won before Yo was fired. I remember that. Because that was when he started, people were finally starting to say, oh, wow, maybe this kid needs to stay up with the team. And he looked good.
Speaking of Yo, that reminds me of the sign that was made at the parade.
Yep.
What did it say? It said, Yo died for this, or Yo... Something on those lines. Yo died for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And even John Kelly and Darren
And
Pang
John
were
Kelly and
laughing.
Darren Pang saw it, and on there's a picture of him just cracking up laughing, which has to be fantastic. Edmondson arbitration came down yesterday, signed 1 year, $3.1 million. Edmondson brought $4.3 million to the table. The Blues brought $2.3 million to the table, and the arbitrator decided on $3.1 million. So, for those of you who don't know, the NHL in arbitration cases, the arbitrator can decide whatever figure he wants between the two values. So, unlike the MLB where they have to choose one or the other, NHL, the arbitrator can choose whatever value he wants between the two offers. So.
Right, and it was basically just slightly below split the difference.
It was below split the difference, which is telling. I like that because I thought honestly Edmondson probably deserved about 2.85, 2.75. I don't think I think he regressed, so I think his salary should have reflected that. And he made $3 million last year, which was based on his previous play. And I thought, okay, he didn't play well last year. Healthy scratch number of games, had a bad season, 2.75 for 1 year. That's fair. But arbitrator decided 3.1, which was a tick above what he made the $3 million the year before. So,
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's fine because you're talking about an extra $100,000.
Right. Well, actually, I would have, like I said, I thought he deserved
less.
Like 2.75.
That's what I agree.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I would have said about 2.5, 2.6.
Yeah. Right.
So I was surprised to see him get that much. I mean, I guess surprise isn't the right word. I thought arbitrator would probably meet him in the middle somewhere, but
It wasn't too far off the middle, but it was slightly in the Blues' favor.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just a guy who had a rough year.
I know. I don't like over $3 million.
Yeah.
If it was 2.99, I'd be more okay with 3.1. You know what I
It
mean?
reminds me of the Sabotka thing when he first left. Like it was like, we'll give you 2.8, but we're not going to give you 2.9. Like that's what I remember it. And that's Edmondson is the same way. I mean, I like Edmondson, and I hope he turns it around this year.
I do too.
There was a period when he was on the top line with Pietrangelo, and I thought they looked great together, but his foot speed was lacking.
There it is.
Here's
There's the back day.
Yeah, that is
NHL.
NHL.
That is 100% NHL EA Sports goal.
Yeah.
That Parad stick handles through 3 guys off the boards, backhand pass across the crease.
That's pretty much Schwartz to Tarasenko every game I play.
To me, on this goal, I think Boston gave up. They had given up on the game. They weren't playing because that goal doesn't happen if it's a 1-goal game. I don't think.
God, this just brings chills. They're showing all the reaction from Enterprise and
I was at Enterprise and I was happy to be there.
Oh,
it was
my
fantastic.
God, that was the best night of my life. Sorry, Shay. I'll say it again. Anyway, no, you know what? I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, in a way, it's a 1-year deal, so it's hard to get too upset about it. It's kind of another prove it deal for Edmondson.
What is he? 25, 24?
Yeah, 25.
So I mean, he's not. I mean, for a defenseman.
Does this take him to UFA? I think it does.
Does it?
It should.
I think it does.
Defensemen are notorious for not like peaking until
he's 26.
Okay,
but got to take him to UFA.
But defensemen don't typically, on average, peak for a couple of years yet, right? A few years yet.
Yeah.
Like 28, 29. Yeah.
27, 28, 29.
I'd say 26, 27 is the higher end.
Bullshit. You're both wrong.
Oh, fuck off.
Whatever it is,
I'm
I think
34 and I'm peaking right now.
Oh, wow. I can tell. I can see it.
Yes.
You're wearing gym shorts. But I think whatever it is, Edmonton is slightly under it, maybe by a year or so, maybe. So
he just turned 26. By the way, in June.
So I think his ceiling is still above what he's played at. So I think he can hit that ceiling. I've liked what he has brought to the table. I think he brings enough offense to score the rare goal, the odd goal. I'm not happy with the 3.1 million. Like I said, under 3 would have been my choice, but whatever. So I'm glad that he's on the team still because I think he's gonna have a better year than last year.
With that being the last real big signing before Barbashev, I think the real way to look at this is you've got enough money to sign Barbashev.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
And so for me, it's I want to be mad about 3.1, but it's like, you know what? There's probably enough to sign Barbashev.
What is there? It was like 3 left or
something like that.
Well, but Armstrong wants a cushion.
Which they're saying there could be about $1 million cushion.
It depends on
It
depends on who they. It depends if they go with a 20-man roster or because they have to address not dress but have a minimum 20.
Yeah.
So or max 23. So they could do 20.
The question is, can you get if a player gets injured at practice? Can you get a player from San Antonio here in time? That's the question.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, if they're on the West Coast, the answer is no. But if they're in San Antonio, can you make that?
Do you know what would fix this problem?
Having a team closer.
Or not having a backup making $4.3 million?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would help.
Yeah.
That would free up a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Right. So JR.
Leo, raise your hands if you agree.
Hey. Yes.
JR put out an article today about the pieces in place, and it's the 2 contracts that just stick out like sore thumbs on the list are Jake Allen and Alex Steen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
Alex Steen embraced his role as a fourth liner.
He did.
and I loved what he brought during the run.
But he's untradeable too. You can't
Right,
trade him.
he-
You can't.
NTC, right.
You physically can't because he has a no trade clause and he doesn't want to be traded, so he can't be moved.
Right.
So that's you just forget about it.
Right. 5.75 sunk.
And Jake Allen can be moved, but they're choosing not to.
The market.
From
I
what
heard-
Korak said, that's what I mean. If you're going to go there, he said there was interest. That's all I heard. But
I heard there was interest.
which could
and
mean any number of things.
I've heard that there was significant interest from other teams, but the rumor is that it would have been a Yori Laterra type deal to where they give up another draft pick. And I think
well-
that Armstrong's, which I've bitched about him doing this in the past. I get that he was like, I don't really want to do that again.
I wouldn't do it because unless we're like, we have to move him to sign so and so.
Right.
I think we're okay. We can get Barbashev signed.
But you talk about the cushion.
Right. And we're not, I mean,
If you
the
want
cushion
a cushion,
is minor.
you look at the
Yeah.
what you're paying. You mentioned Steen.
Yep.
It's Steen and Allen. That's the reason there's
Yep.
not a cushion.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's the thing. If you want the cushion, or more of a cushion, you got to trade Allen because that's like the only option.
Yeah.
You can't trade Steen because they've inquired about it in the past a couple years ago, and he was like, "No, I'm not waiving the no trade."
I know this is never in a million years going to happen, but I hope in like 20 years when Doug Armstrong's living on a beach somewhere, he writes a tell-all book.
Like Andy
And-
Dufresne.
Yes. And he tells us about what the greatest
You remember them in town, don't you?
He tells us about the greatest offer that he got for Allen. I would be really interested to know that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Let's fire Armstrong after the season just to find out all this information. Be fantastic. So what were you offered for Allen? Oh, that'd be
I would have loved to know.
Yes.
I mean, even if it was something where I would kind of go, I think at the end of the day, I'd say, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it.
Rodney
trigger.
Metz in the YouTube chat says, I think Barbie is more important to sign, in my opinion. And
Well,
Vegas,
it'll happen at this point.
yeah,
At this
no,
point,
I
it's
agree.
happening.
I agree.
They were just waiting on Edmondson.
Yeah, and Vegas Blues fan agrees. And Rodney Metz says, who gets moved if Army wants wiggle room with the cap? He'll have a tiny bit of wiggle room, but I mean, how much do you want? I mean, I heard he wanted a few $1 million.
See,
but
here's
that's not,
here's
I
the
don't-
thing.
I
I
have that.
think that what Armstrong, what's going to be his little saving grace, and we hear this every year, that after injuries and after this and after that, at a certain point, the NHL says, okay, you know what? It looks like you have $1 million in cap.
25.
But 20 seconds here.
20 seconds to go.
Yeah, but it looks like you have $1 million cap on the books, but over actual salary, you've got $2.2 million in cap. We hear that every year at the trade deadline. Because of that, the weird way that the salary cap works, there's usually a little bit
There's
more.
5 seconds to go in the
That's
game.
the only thing that I think that he's going to get in his favor because
You talked right through the celebration.
I don't know who's
Do
going.
you believe in miracles?
I don't know who he's going to be able to move. I mean,
I
in
agree.
terms of not only who's he going to be able to move, but in terms of who do you want to move? Who
Right.
can you move from this roster?
Right. I mean,
Shen,
So.
Oh, yeah, you can move Shen.
he's probably the
Right.
only one.
But he's
He is.
valuable, too.
he is
Right.
valuable. Could you get a?
If you're moving somebody because you feel like you have to have the space, Shen's the guy you move.
Oh,
Because,
man. No, Allen's got you move.
well, if you can, without having to give up to
Right.
get.
Well, but here's the
But
thing.
Shen's got the value, and he can bring a
See-
decent return.
He can.
Allen, you probably have to package him.
Or give him away for nothing, like a 5th-round draft pick. I think it may come down to that, where during the season, if things play out whatever way they do, maybe Allen gets moved to
What if Allen? Let's just perfect scenario. Allen and Binnington just Halak and Elliott it. They just barnstorm the league, look great together. let's say, do you think Armstrong pulls the trigger?
No.
If he can get a high value for Allen, do you think he does it?
No. Well, at the trade deadline?
I'm saying anytime.
It depends what time. I mean, we're talking like 2 months in, or we're talking like late? Because
I mean, let's say January, Allen and Binnington both have winning records. They both have save percentages above 910.
Well, how many games is Allen playing? There's so many variables. Half? Then no.
No?
No.
No. I mean,
I don't think he plays half, but
no, he's not going to be our road goalie. We're not going to have a home goalie and a road goalie, which was
no.
You know, he will play, every other game on the road at best. The thing is, I think the plan now, so Binnington is your number one guy. They're paying him $50,000 a year more than Allen, which just feels wrong.
I love the fact that that's the way Binnington's contract worked out, though.
Right.
At some point in negotiations, it was, come on, man, he's got to make more than Jake.
Right.
That was my point on social media the whole time until he got signed. He's not fucking making less than Allen. He's never going to.
It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to sign your Stanley Cup winning goalie to less than what your backup is currently making. It's not going to happen.
Right. And
if it was, they would trade Allen first.
Okay, so I've never noticed this, but I'm pretty sure in the handshake line, Tarasenko was talking to Chara, and I swear, I think I just read Tarasenko's lips, and he called him a fucking warrior.
I think so.
Oh, he fucking is.
I read this. I read that. I
He
swear.
fucking is. I did not expect him to play another game, and he didn't miss a game.
Right.
So,
I mean, stuff of legend to play. I mean, both Vince Dunn and Chara.
yeah. And Dunn didn't get enough credit for playing through his injury at all because it was overshadowed by Chara.
Yeah. I mean, he did miss 6 games.
He did, but he came back and played. And
it was immediately
Looked
effective.
good.
yes.
He wasn't Eric Carlson out there.
No.
Sorry, Sharks guys.
Yeah. That'll be a fun topic tomorrow.
Yeah,
night.
that's in the talking notes.
Oh,
I'll make
hand
sure to
pass?
mention
Hand
that.
pass?
Hand pass is in there.
Oh,
don't
my
you worry.
God.
Yeah, we will make sure to talk hand pass.
But
Don't let AJ boss you around with a hand pass.
will not.
I'm serious.
Oh, I will
Because he
not.
can get pretty bossy.
Oh, I know he can.
Yeah, all right.
I'll fuck that guy up.
You put him in his place about that
will.
fucking hand pass.
I will.
All right.
I played nice host for too long already.
so going back to my point on Binnington, the 50 grand more, right? He's making more than Allen, right?
Yeah.
We all knew that had to happen. The term of the contract, both of their contracts expire in the same year. So the Blues will be in position if Binnington repeats to be able to say, okay, Jake, you're UFA, go on. Hey, Jordan, we have another 4.35 we could give you, but not 4.4. It just, the timing works out like that. That's to where Allen's contract expires. Binnington's is, expiring, but he's coming out of RFA to UFA. You can give him the big raise at that point if he's the real deal, right? Because that's. I mean, to me, I like if this was the mistake to define Doug Armstrong's career, I would rather this be the one he made rather than Sabotka.
How long do you think Allen will be here? I mean, Jeff brought up the whole, if he's playing lights out with Binnington and they're a great combo, do you move him? I think in that situation you don't, because you don't. Why fuck something up that's working so well? But at that point you have to recalibrate, right? You can't. Well, you can't if Binnington's playing 75% of the games and Allen's not. You can't. The difference can't be 50 grand. So Allen's going to have to take less, or you're going to have to significantly increase your salary you're paying to Binnington, and then we have probably more than 10 million tied up in goaltending, which is not a successful formula in the cap era. Do you know Allen is making, his salary is higher than his cap hit? Do you know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
His salary is like $5 million.
Yeah.
So
it went up, right?
Yeah.
Every year.
So we're actually technically, literally, we're paying our backup goalie $5 million a season.
Tom Stillman, when he signs that check,
that is ridiculous. I don't give a shit. I don't care how well your backup's playing. $5 million is outrageous. I don't care. He's a backup goalie. I mean, yeah, he wasn't. That wasn't his role when he was signed, but that's what it is now. So you gotta fix things.
You know what? Bob's right. Bob Rakowski, friend of the show, there in the chat. I don't think Berube will do the goalie by committee thing. You know what? You're right.
He didn't
and
last
that's
year.
what I love about
Yeah,
Berube.
he didn't last year.
He's the first coach we've had since White Kitchen who didn't do the goalie by committee thing.
Right. He rode Bennington for a long time.
And I love that.
And Dan Draheim says, still too much money goaltending. I agree.
I agree. I will say, to counter that, but I agree with you, Dan, to counter that, and I know I've said this on the show before, Sergei Bobrovsky making $10 million in goal for Florida. It's not unheard of. You look at you look at Dallas a couple years ago, they had two guys making over $5 million.
Yes,
like
which was bad for them.
It was bad. They were both not very good.
That was awful for them.
But I mean, it's not unheard of to
No,
have
it's
this
not.
much tied up in goal. It's not good. You don't want to do that. It's
No.
not a recipe for success.
No, and there are people who, in which we've got the notes here to talk about, but there are some people that have the argument that say, well, we've got almost $9 million tied up in goaltending. Well, that's okay because most teams have that in their number one alone, which is not true at all. I've seen that said a number of times. People are apparently under the impression that because Bobrovsky signed a really high contract, and Price is a high contract, and there's like three. There's three goalies, three number ones that have a higher contract than our two goalies combined. So there's no most about it.
What did Vasilevsky get? He just signed his deal. Go keep talking. I'll look it up.
I looked up the other day. There's like three number ones, quote number ones, that have a higher cap hit than our total goaltending. So it's not most. There's a few teams that have you're always going to have that, your outrageous contracts with goaltending. That's always going to be the case. And that's what it is. There's three that have a higher, actually two actual salary, three cap hits have a higher than ours. So it's not good.
Okay, so Vasilevsky, his deal he just signed, $9.5 million is his cap hit.
So there's Vasilevsky, there's Bobrovsky, there's
Carey Price.
Does
Carey
Price's
Price
cap hit
is at 10, isn't he?
I
well,
think so.
but is his cap hit is that the three? No, Lundqvist. There's only three though. I don't know if Carey Price's cap hit
I'll look it up.
is over what.
Keep making your point.
It may have
You're
changed.
wrong.
No, he's got that ridiculously long contract. That's right.
I thought it was three. It might be four, whatever. But it's regardless. There's 30 whatever teams in the NHL.
Yeah. Okay. Carey Price's cap hit's 10.5.
Okay. So there's what, 3 or 4 goalies that make more than our goalies combined. Number ones. So it's not most.
How much
There's
is
a few.
DiPietro making still?
Right. That's
1.5.
no, it's a lot more than
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yep.
When's the last? When did he play? Like 6 years ago? 8 years ago?
Lundqvist is actually at 8.5, so he's less.
He's slightly.
Yeah, but still, I mean, your point is
Right.
valid.
No, and that's I think people are under the impression that most teams number ones make more than our goals combined because our number one doesn't make a ton, but that's just not the case. So
Dan adds in the chat again, and just another new listener, or not new listener, but new chat member. Make sure you join us during the season, by the way, guys. We do live shows every week, usually Tuesday or Wednesday nights, but 9:15ish if we can get our asses moving on time.
9:15, 9:20ish.
We should make a new season resolution to start at 9:15 every
We've
week.
tried that.
All right, how about
before.
9:20?
We keep pushing it back.
9:25.
We just need to say 9:15ish,
Okay.
and I think we're the good.
But Dan says Bob produces Alan Chokes, and I'm with you. That's why Alan is a backup at this point.
Bob is a 2-time Vezina winner, so that's
That's true.
yeah.
And Alan has won a series once.
where he was amazing in that series.
Yes.
In that series.
Yes. Bob Rakowski, that is, not Sergei Bobrovsky. He's not chiming in. Talking about the salary cap for the Blues in terms of goaltending, that's 10%, though. He's talking about 10% of the cap is going to the goalie, which, yes, that is high. And we're not arguing that it's okay.
No,
it's just
not at all.
that you can still build a strong team around 10% of your cap going to goalie. It's just not easy.
And I think when you've got, I'll ask the question again. How long is Allen here?
I don't know.
2 years.
3 years?
Through his contract?
4 years. Can I get 4? How about 5? 5 years.
His contract. So the length of his contract. So he'll be gone. He'll walk. Or they'll trade him.
No, walk.
Walk.
I think
Walk
I'm actually with Bill. I think he walks. I think it would be nice if we could.
To be honest.
I don't know.
To be honest, we've got Pietrangelo and Edmondson's next year. We've got Shen, UFA after the season.
Shen's gone.
Well, I'm just saying that if you can move Allen's contract, that way, if you want to try to resign somebody,
so let me ask his question in a different way. I mentioned earlier that what I heard was that they wanted that there was a chance to move Allen, but it would include like possibly moving a higher draft pick. Do you think that eventually Doug Armstrong's hands are tied and he just says, "I just got to do it. I got to move Allen and a draft pick because I need to sign player XYZ." I was last offseason, I wanted to move Allen for whatever they could get. Yeah, me too.
I mean, like, I don't care if it was future considerations.
I don't remember who we were saying they should sign, but I remember just saying, just get rid of him and we'll figure it out.
Exactly. I'm like, you know what? You can. I mean, Chris Johnson. Okay, it didn't work out. but
worked out great when they waived him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is really true. That is very good. But I don't know. I had moved on from Allen last offseason, and I said this on the show.
Chad Johnson, by the way.
Right. What did I say?
It actually took me a minute. You said Chris Johnson.
Chris? Okay.
And it took me a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. That wasn't
Chad,
his name.
you're right.
And it took me a while to think what his actual name was.
I knew it was a C, Craig,
CH, yeah.
Craig, Chad, Chris. Crinkle. Chris Kringle, whatever. Yeah. I had moved on from Allen last offseason. So at any point last season, we talked about this.
Yeah.
We were done because he was just so inconsistent, and like as far as number ones go, in quote, among the worst in the NHL. So it's just it wasn't working out. So
I'll go back to my very first tweet of the hockey season last year. Stop it, you fucking cretins! When Jake Allen got booed off the ice in Game 1 against the Jets.
Yes, right.
Oh my God, that was the most disastrous start.
We got a number of conversation going on here in the YouTube chat. Chris Ziegler says, "I wonder if there's any relation to the Ziegler that used to be the commissioner in the NHL,
or my former assistant principal of my middle school, Mr. Ziegler."
That's probably a little more likely. He says, usually listen to audio version, but joining here for the first time. Well, welcome to the show, Chris. He says, I think there's any chance we move Jake this season, which we're just talking about now.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I think Bill says he's going to be here for the duration of his contract. What did you say?
I'm kind of with Bill, but I feel like at some point, the question I asked, I think he's just. Armstrong's going to have to do something to get rid of him.
I think it depends on how he plays this year and how much he plays, how well Bennington plays. So many variables. If Bennington plays really well, I can see Jake being moved at some point, maybe depending on how he plays. It's so many factors. We really Dan Draham says we're really
true?
What's that?
It's Jake Allen's birthday?
We really roasting Allen out here on the man's birthday? Sheesh. Maybe. I don't care. I mean, what are the odds his birthday this day? It's like it must be 1 in a million.
He's right. August 7th, 1990. Happy birthday, Jake Allen.
That's awesome. And Ziegler also says, I feel like a team with cap space would take his contract, and we could sign a cheap goalie as a backup, save some cap space. There was interest in Allen. before Armstrong made it known that
And
he was
man,
not
and
going to
like,
trade him.
if there's any time to move, and again, from the speculation I've heard that was move a draft pick with Allen, if there's any time to do that, it's after you win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Fans are going to give you slack to say, okay, he's going to do whatever he has to do.
Yeah.
Who cares? We're still drunk.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You can make a really horrible move, and no one's going to notice.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not moving Bennington or Tarasenko, nobody's
Right.
going to care.
No one cares.
Okay, well, cool. All right, hey,
What's-
pass me another beer.
And what's interesting about the Blues offseason is that a lot of times after a team wins the Cup, they might lose a key player or two to free agency. They can't resign, whatever. They go somewhere else because people are throwing money at them because, hey, they want a cup. We'll give them some money. The Blues don't have that, aside from Maroon, who no one's throwing money at, apparently.
Well, I thought the Rutherford in his article today was saying that it's term. He wants 2 years somewhere, and nobody's giving it to him.
I didn't see that. Okay. That makes complete sense.
Plus, he's busy trotting the Stanley Cup up and down Telegraph Road.
Yeah, and not taking it to bars where people are at.
Right.
Which that makes complete sense. I can see him holding out and wanting a couple of years. I get it, but to be honest, I mean, he wasn't good last year.
To be fair,
I know people like him. He's a hometown guy, and he had a couple of big goals in the playoffs, but he wasn't good for 70 games last year.
I don't know, though. I mean, you're saying there's not one team that'd be willing to give him 2 years?
Maybe there is one team, but he doesn't want to go there. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's the case.
I know Calgary apparently was big on him.
Yeah, but I heard that was bull.
Yeah,
I thought that was a rumor.
Maybe.
Because they offered him, was it a few years and like a few million per, and
Something like
that didn't, and that was the rumor, and that didn't happen. I'm like, well, if that was the case, he's taking that, right? I mean,
He's got to.
yeah.
That's what I thought.
So that rumor had to be BS.
Yeah.
Bennington, 2 years, $4.4 million, which we talked about a little bit.
Yeah, we're already kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's important to note, I guess, and I kind of mentioned this on the Behind Enemy Lines episodes when that happened, that honestly, I'm just happy he's locked up. And I knew he would be. I mean, you can't. There's no way that the Blues would have let him walk.
No.
No way. They would have figured out something to get him signed, but
Bennington?
yeah.
No, he's an RFA, so he's not going to walk.
Yeah, but I'm saying he had arbitration rights.
Yeah, right. But I
There's
mean,
no way he's going to be a Blue next season.
I thought out of all the players, he was the most likely to go to arbitration because of the unique scenario, which
I thought so too.
happened. But he didn't, and that when he signed, I'm like, oh, okay. And at 4.4, I'm like,
happy with that.
That is actually salary wise best case scenario for the Blues because
I thought so too.
because I thought you had to pay more than Allen, so $50,000 more than Allen. That's great. That's fantastic. That's like razor thin, just more than Allen.
Yeah.
So fantastic, great.
And I mean, again, like we talked about this in our last live show, that Bennington's agent is coming in saying,
Sure.
8 years, 10 million. I mean, whatever he could get, he brought your city a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And then Armstrong's coming back saying, well, he was a rookie, 1 year, prove it.
Played half a season.
Yeah, played half a season. I mean that the two sides. There's no way they could have been at further odds than they probably were when they first started talking. So to see them get something done before arbitration is huge. Because you look at players that sign arbitration deals, many of them, when their contract's up, they go somewhere else. Because arbitration is not a fun process.
No.
Right.
It's a terrible process.
That's, that was another thing that Rutherford talked about today in the in his article that I guess it was Craig Custance did an article recently about how Curt needs to pee really bad. But just
Curt's not here. What are we gonna do?
Right. So how arbitration leads to divorce, basically.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I don't. If Edmondson is RFA coming out of 2 years ago when the Blues got knocked out by the Preds, totally he wins that case.
Oh yeah, because he had the big was it overtime goal right against the Preds against
and
the
he was a standout player in that series.
Yeah, he
when
was.
the Blues lacked that.
Yep.
But this year, Bortuzzo had 2 game-winning goals.
That's why it's good they locked him up before the playoffs started.
Right. So timing's bad for Edmondson in this case. But I thought them not walking away from the award said one thing, and that was he is a good guy in this locker room. We want to bring back this core next year. And he's one of those guys that's been the party center of the team. But now he's 26. Is he going to be, is he going to now transition into settling down? Is this going to mature him? Is he going to transition away from that and become more of a consummate professional rather than the party guy?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it should be interesting to find out. But yeah, it's we'll see. I mean, if he can kind of forget about how this process went, this arbitration process,
right,
then I'm sure he's happy to stay here forever. I mean, he's won a Stanley Cup here. His roots are here. He was drafted here. But yeah, I mean,
that's
just seeing some of these guys that have gone through the arbitration process and then just, okay, see ya when the contract's up.
Yep.
It does make you wonder.
Who are we talking about?
Happen. Edmondson.
I had to race like a piss horse.
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay.
This is why Curt does podcasts. He has a way with.
I have
I've
never had to do that before.
I've apparently lost internet connection here.
I had to go.
So if you can make sure you keep your eye on the chat there. And that's usually my job.
Vegas Blues fan says, okay, let's see. Bob Rakowski says, I think Bennington believes in himself enough that he wasn't scared of a prove-it deal. And
I love that.
I
love that.
I do too. And I thought too that if I had said before that I think Bennington, if he had gone to arbitration, he wouldn't have cared about he would have been a guy that would have had the negativity deflected off of him during arbitration. The whole
You think if they went to arbitration, he just would have sat back in his chair like this the whole time? No, whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do I look nervous?
Vegas Blues fan says Armstrong was stupid for not moving him, assuming Allen. So
yeah.
And I, you know what? Well, I think the jury's out on that. To be honest, I would have loved to have seen. I think Armstrong should have moved him, but it's possible that he maybe needed the season because Bennington's played only half a season. I mean, regular season. So if he doesn't continue to play well, if he regresses, maybe Allen's needed a little more. And assuming Allen plays well, and that if he plays well in relief of Bennington, then okay, it was smart to hang on to him.
Right. Look, if Jordan Bennington repeats his performance from last year, which I don't think anybody expects him to be as good as he was.
That's rough. That's a rough task to ask.
It is.
If he's I'm hoping for about 60%, 75% of what he was.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
If he repeats that, we're talking about the Blues having the generational goalie.
Yeah.
The Marty Brodeur or the Patrick Waugh. That
Ken Dryden.
The Ken Dryden.
No, and I'm my fingers are crossed.
Right.
I mean, because really, Bennington is a wild card. I mean, I don't want to upset people by saying that, but I mean, he's played half a regular season, not even. So, and he had a good run in the playoffs. If you look at his numbers in the playoffs, though, they weren't as good in the regular season, which you don't think you can expect them to be that way. But he was good.
You know what, though? There's tape on him now.
Are we gonna get into this 10-minute long debate now about fucking tape on a goalie who's been a professional goalie for 4 years already before he came to the Blues?
Sorry, I had to go there.
Yeah, tape on a goalie.
Honestly,
well, it's fucking bullshit. The most stupid fucking bullshit thing that someone could say about a goalie who's played professional hockey for 4 years before. There's fucking 4 years of tape on him already. Okay, sorry.
It's you go back to listen to what we had to say in the middle of the season, and well, not middle of the season, but late in the season, and even early in the playoffs, and then even the Blues hockey podcast, the the Rivers Show. What's that one called? The Blues NHL podcast.
Yeah, they all have very similar names. It's hard to say. I don't know.
No +1 cup, whatever the hell they are now. All those guys. I mean, you go back to listen to even Bernie Federico talk. The question was, when is Jordan Binnington going to fall back down to earth? That was the question that everybody asked. He never did.
No, he never did. And it's fantastic because people were almost like it was going to happen. They weren't like saying when.
It wasn't. Yeah, it
wasn't
if. It was when.
Right. They were saying, oh, not necessarily a podcast, but fucking stupid social
Keith
media
Jones.
accounts. Huh?
Keith Jones.
No, not Keith Jones. We're saying, oh, I give him 2 weeks. Bennington's got 2 weeks of good play, and he's back down to earth. And so many people were of that mindset because they were Allen folks.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of those comments came from.
No, I mean, there were moments. I mean, he definitely had moments. I remember the moment I remember the best was the game 3 against the Stars, when he kind of started to fall apart. He lost his shit. He went after Ben. Then he went after Bishop at intermission. Like that was the first moment where I thought, "Oh man, we're seeing a rattled Binnington right now."
Well, here's the deal, though. He's done that before in the minor.
Well, we hadn't seen it
in November.
in the NHL.
Yeah, no, not in the NHL. No,
and that's why I was like,
Yeah.
what are we gonna see now? But was it 13-2 after losses?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
it's insane how he bounces back so quickly.
I like how people say that he can get rattled. No, I mean, why would you
Every
think
goalie
that?
gets rattled.
Why would you think that though? I mean, when you see his record after losses, he doesn't. He's a guy that lets stuff bounce off of him, and based on last season, great. If that happens again this season, even better. So hopefully last season was not an anomaly. Okay, we got. Do we talk about Barbashev, Maroon?
A little.
Barbashev, we're signing him, right? Under $2 million, right?
He's not gonna show up and say $4 million.
Yeah,
$4 million.
$4 million.
They're all called Putin.
Yeah. He's gonna sign.
No, he won't.
It's
but
at this point, are they gonna give Maroon, or does Maroon take the scraps?
So
that
I
they'll have
think
left
this falls under Vegas Blues fans' question here. He says, "Do you think the Blues will make a trade before the season starts?" The reason I say that falls into the Maroon discussion is because I think the only reason they would ever make a trade at this point before the season starts is to sign Maroon. If they're like, if we could move player A,
Okay.
and that way we could sign Maroon, maybe. But I don't. And I know you're getting.
I'll let you finish. Can I finish?
I can't finish. No, I don't think that happens. I really don't. But I do think maybe first early morning, Doug's grabbing his coffee. He's sitting in his robe. He's looking outside the window, and he's thinking, I bet if I moved Sanford, I could probably get Maroon to sign. And it's probably just something that in the back of Blues management's mind, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't want Maroon unless he signs.
I want Maroon if he signs for cheap.
I was to say I don't want Maroon unless he signs for $1 million or less, which is not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
No,
Yeah.
It won't. I don't think he's worth it. I mean, I like the guy. Like I said, he had a couple of big goals in the playoffs. He played on an effective fourth line.
He's a hometown hero, baby.
But he's
my best chance at seeing the cup.
He wasn't good. He was. I mean, okay. Everybody thought in the offseason when we signed him for $1.75 million, that's a great deal for Maroon. He signed for less. We probably got him for $1 million less than what he got somewhere else. Fantastic, great. No, he probably was overpaid last year based on his production.
For his regular season production.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Because the first 70 games, he had 3 goals or something.
Yeah.
And he had a handful of them the last 13, 14 games of the season, whatever it was. He turned around late. So the first
Some
70
people
games.
call that getting hot at the right time.
Right. Well, and that's appreciated. I appreciate it. But he wasn't good last year, and he doesn't deserve, I'm sure, what he's asking for. And ask for what you want. If you can get it, great. More power to you. Great. But if the Blues, if he wants to sign here for $1 million or less, I'd say okay, that's fine. But like you said, Jeff, someone might have to be moved.
Yeah.
To make room for, because you're not going to sign him and not play him.
Yeah.
You're going to sign him and play him. And well, and if you do play, if you do sign him for $1 million or less, which he won't do, but if you do, then you really have the freedom to just scratch him. I mean, on most nights.
Right. And is that really well, I mean, apart from Doug Armstrong saying he wants that, he wants some kind of cushion in there. I mean,
you have to move somebody.
Right. But from a business perspective, from a community relations perspective, is having him still with the organization and connecting to the community and the worst thing?
No,
I mean, I don't like it.
Okay, here's another thing to think about too. I mean, I know that listen, we love this team. We love the 2019
love
St.
them.
Louis Blues.
Love everything about them. Every single player. Love them.
I just want to raise
last
them as
season.
I want to raise them as my own. I
Last
mean, my
season.
God, I love every one of them.
But this is next season.
But yes, let's think about this. Not only are we talking about who can reproduce what they did last year, we're talking about younger guys coming up. Go ahead. What's
I was gonna say,
what's the joke, Curt?
No. I was gonna say Maroon can probably reproduce what he did last season.
I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could.
Okay, now go ahead.
No, but you think about the younger guys that are coming up here. I mean, we talked all last year before the Blues got hot. Why the hell aren't they playing Jordan Kyrou? We need to see Kyrou getting NHL minutes. If you keep bringing these guys back, there's no room for them to come up. Klim Kostin, there's no room for him. Robert Thomas is again going to be on your fourth line. I mean, you don't want that.
God,
Thomas
if he doesn't get injured against Dallas, God, I mean, and he's doesn't get charged by Torrey fucking Krug, in the final. God, he was such an he's
a good player. He's a fucking good player.
Impactful player in the Stars series until he got injured.
Yep.
That and which I'm excited for the coming season with Thomas because he's one of the handful of guys, the young guys in the roster that which I have as something to talk about as far as like something to look forward to, because we don't have any new talent on the roster to talk about. It's
except for Jorgman Borgman.
Oh my God. That's going to be a meme or something eventually. I'll make it. I'll do it.
The next
I'll fall on the sword. That's awesome.
shit.
What are we talking about? Oh, right. Yeah. So, okay, I didn't read this comment yet, but I'll read it on the fly. Chris Ziegler says, I would love to see Maroon back, if nothing else, just for sentimental reasons. But I can't think of someone I want to give up for him, and I don't want him taking up space for young guys too long. That's kind of covering both sides of the... That's a very political answer there, Chris.
Yes.
You're very political.
Is that Mitch McConnell?
Yeah.
It's commenting there?
Are you from Kentucky?
And it's funny.
You look like a turtle, sir.
And again, I think I've mentioned this on our last live show that you look back, and I got a friend, a guy that was on the show, Eddie Garcia, friend of the show. He talks all the time on his show, the Puck Podcast, about how the Kings, after the 2012 win, it was such a sentimental thing for the city of LA to finally. I mean, he talked to us about how the Blues were good for a while, they just could never get over the hump. The Kings were just shit forever. And so when they finally were able to just break through and barnstorm and find a way to win a cup, it was like, hold on to every one of these guys. Don't let any of them go. And they literally signed everyone back that summer. And they still had a good team, obviously. 2013, still good. 2014, still good. 2015, win a cup. But every one of those guys was signed to 6, 7, 8-year deals. Dustin Brown, Mike Richards. Luckily, they got out of that contract. Slava Voinov. I mean, these guys, again, Slavoinov, another good thing they got out of that. But you look at all these guys. I mean, even like Andrzej Kopitar, who's great, he has nobody to play with because they've got so many bad contracts. Dustin Brown is one of them, and then again, Jeff Carter, who I've heard just looked like a shell of himself last year. Do you want to be the next LA Kings? Do you want in 5 years to be looking at this team going, what the hell happened?
What happened to Dustin Brown? I used to hate him so much.
Then
it became kind of irrelevant.
Right. He had a renaissance beginning part of last year, but LA was just terrible.
He was a dirty mother effer. He was just awful. He was a.
I hated having to root for him for Team USA.
Yeah.
In the Olympics, I'm like, oh, damn it, and Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
You bastards do good, I guess.
That's a very awkward situation too.
Really
you
is.
see Kane on Team USA, and you're like, "Hey, go use." Oh, it's Kane. Oh,
You should go play for Russia, Kane.
oh, that's yeah. Play for Latvia.
Play for Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland, yes. Oh, Mighty Ducks 3. 2. Iceland.
Yes.
Oh,
Good work, Captain Doug.
good to work, Captain.
Gunnar
Ziegler-
Stahl.
Gunnar Stahl,
The lost Stahl
who
brother.
at the time of that movie looked exactly like my cousin.
Yes.
Exactly.
Doppelganger.
Watching the movie, you're like, oh shit, that's my cousin. Yeah.
You lost it for yourself. Let's go shake their hands.
That's very good.
Nicely
Good
done.
job.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done.
How many times have you watched that movie?
I don't want to answer that question.
the last month.
I'm going to plead the fifth.
So the Blackhawks made some comments. Jonathan Toews and Andrew Shaw. Toews made some comments. They got some feedback on social media. Ruffled the feathers of a lot of Blues fans as far as his comments, which I thought were fantastic. He said, "There was no part of me that was happy about the Blues winning the Cup. Let's make that clear. To me, them tanking at the start of the year was a huge underachievement. I'm not ready to give them as much credit as everyone else was," which that whole quote doesn't really
it's
make a lot of
weird.
sense. Yeah,
It's really weird.
Yeah, I'm not giving them credit, but
To
they
me, the whole like tanking thing. What are you even talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. He may have been drinking. I'm not sure, but he. But I get what he's saying. He's pandering to his audience, his crowd.
Right, because this was
downplaying the Blues.
The Blackhawks convention, right?
This was an interview with a reporter. Shaw's was actually during the convention on stage.
Okay.
Shaw said, Andrew Shaw, who is now a Blackhawk again. Thank God. I love him on the Hawks because I can't fucking stand that guy.
And I fucking hated him on the Canadians.
Exactly. The last image I have him as a Hawk is giving the two middle fingers. Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, that's total Blackhawk Andrew Shaw to me. So he says during the convention on stage, I can't wait to beat up on the Blues. So that's and you know, you're playing to your crowd. I get it. I'm not like angry or irritated or upset, but I love it as a Blues fan. That's fantastic. To see Toews, of all people who have won a few cups, to be irritated the Blues have won one. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, irritate the shit out of him. Give me more quotes. Let's talk to Toews more about this. How much do you hate the Blues? How much do you hate they won the cup? I love it. I love it so much. I don't get the people who are upset about this.
Let's put it like this for me. For me, I mean, obviously outside of the Blues raising the cup, which is like, again, the greatest moment of my life. Was it game 1 when Pat Maroon skated by the Bruins bench and said, "You're fucked." Like, that is like, to me, like way the hell up here in terms of Blues lore. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to see. And you know what? I love seeing it from the other side. We all talked about it when it happened. We're like, I love this. I love that Jonathan Toews is so vocal that he's pissed the Blues won. I love that Andrew Shaw, quote, can't wait to beat up on the Blues. Because you know what? When the Blues beat them 6-1, it's going to feel so much fucking better.
Look, Jonathan Toews might score a game winner or two against the Blues next year. That's fine. It's the games that they drop to the Arizona Coyotes and the Florida Panthers that they need to worry about. Right? You know, I know they did, you know, a little work on their back end, but fuck, they're still straddled with those two contracts. You know, they keep trying to rekindle everything. You know, they brought back Saad, gave up Panarin.
Neil before Saad.
Right, what a stupid fucking move, giving up Panarin in his prime.
Oh my! I
ridiculous.
at the time
Right.
we talked about this on the show.
Yeah, we did.
How about how I like Panarin is amazing. He's I thought he could have been a top 5 forward in the NHL. He was fantastic. Will be. Yeah.
Trade him for Brandon Saad.
Right, because
I know.
they needed to make Toews happy.
They didn't want to pay him either. That was
Right.
the rumor. They didn't want to pay him when his contract was up in 2 years.
Right, and Quenneville,
2 years.
Quenneville almost left the team over that at that point.
Yeah, he because he was Panarin was on a contract for the following season.
Right.
And his contract was up after that.
Right.
And so they traded him like a year early. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Right, and
You still
they've
could have
had
made another run.
Right.
Panarin and Kane were magic.
You had at least one more run in left in you.
Yeah,
It was an
those
overreaction to the Predator
cross-slot
series.
passes that nobody could shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's stupid.
Kane-
But I think that's the problem. The problem in Chicago is, you know, that there were too many factions. That's, you know, too many internal factions warring against one another.
Bring this off of Leonardo's hands. The for those on the YouTube chat, the YouTube, you can see that I'm holding the cup, the cardboard cup that Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle dressed in blues gear, in my office. The 4-foot-high Ninja Turtle was holding the cup up, and so I've got the cup. And so we're talking about the Blackhawks. So you know
Right.
they've won a few cups, and
Doesn't matter. We're the defending champions.
defending, right?
Right.
What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately?
Eddie. I just always think of Eddie Murphy Raw. What have you done
So-
for me lately?
Defending. Wait, just to clarify, the Blues are the 2019 Stanley Cup champions. Right?
Yeah, they
Correct.
won.
They won.
They won in 2019.
2019,
Okay.
beating Winnipeg,
Yeah.
Dallas,
Dallas.
San Jose,
Yep.
and Boston.
And where did Chicago finish in the playoffs?
I don't think they made the.
They didn't make it?
playoffs. They didn't make
They
it.
didn't make it?
No.
Oh,
they
shit.
had a really bad start.
Okay.
A terrible start in the first half of the season. Played better second half.
Wait, can you clarify for me? Did they tank worse than the Blues at the start?
And
I don't
they
think they did.
at least had solid goaltending, right?
No.
No. Huh.
You know, Mr. Ward had the bulk of the duties last season,
Right,
I think. And
until Crow came back and won him a few games.
Right.
But he's
I mean,
still one concussion
they
away
had a-
from-
But they had secondary scoring.
well, they had a career year from Toews, right? So that got them in the playoffs,
Okay, right. Yeah. No, I don't think it
No,
did.
no. The career year from Toews offensively
But
didn't get them in the
Well,
playoffs.
wait a minute. Every team does so much better when they fire their head coach.
Right.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Who has
like the
won
Blues
them-
last
Has
year.
won a multiple cups.
Right, 3 cups.
Yeah,
You
three
fired
cups.
that guy.
Yeah,
You fired that guy.
him, so that means they went on a run after that, right?
Sure. Right. No, they didn't.
I don't think they did.
Right.
No, I mean
And-
they played better down the stretch, and they had an inkling they may make the playoffs, but it didn't happen. So
Interesting.
yeah, and they actually fairly well on the lottery drafts. So,
Yeah, they
That's
did.
true. That's
They
true.
did.
so yay Chicago lottery draft winners, right?
Yeah, they seem to do well whenever they're in the lottery.
Would they get the third pick?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
and the guy signed a left-hand shooting.
Yeah, not Capo Caco.
No. I've
I've had too many beers to remember. Okay, everybody, hang on. Vamp. Everybody vamp.
Man.
no.
Okay,
Kirby
Bobkowski
Dak.
says, I don't
Yeah.
think I'll ever get tired of hearing that.
Probably talking about the Blues winning the Stanley Cup.
I think that's what he's
Blues
talking about.
winning the Cup.
In 2000,
I think he's talking about the Blues winning the
last
Cup.
season, the very last, like just literally just a couple months ago.
Yeah, when
The
they
Blues,
beat Boston in Game 7.
in
In
Boston,
Boston.
in their
Yeah.
own
Yeah,
building.
right.
They stole their dreams.
And isn't it the case that the last time a professional sports championship was awarded in Boston was to the St. Louis Cardinals in 1968?
Is that right? Or the
67,
Cardinals and
68,
Red Sox? I don't know.
Something like
I
that.
haven't heard it.
Either that or it was the 80s and when the Celtics lost to the Lakers. I don't know.
Has all Boston teams have they won all their championships on the road? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Or they
That's
won them
crazy.
at home.
Yeah, because they
Obviously, the Patriots haven't
No.
won at home. I mean, that's
You're
No,
right.
almost
Right.
impossible.
No, the Super Bowl's always played on a neutral site.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Not always.
right.
It is predetermined.
Right.
It could be.
Typically.
Right.
But they're not gonna. They don't play anywhere where it could possibly snow.
Right.
Because
Which-
that one year they did.
which
it in
I don't
Minnesota,
understand.
And the roof collapsed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
understand because I love watching football in the snow. That's fantastic.
Oh, it's the best.
If you were to give me a Super Bowl in the snow, yeah, baby, give me
It's like
a
giving
foot
me
of snow.
hockey in the
I might
fog.
watch football
Yeah,
again if that
hockey in the
happens.
fog, hockey with crickets out in Las Vegas before a preseason game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Outdoor game.
Yeah, but no, the
How is
the
it our
Red
viewers
Sox-
have gone up? We're just talking about the stupidest shit, and people are listening.
We're entertaining. We
guess so.
we bring it. We're not dull. We're not boring. We're not monotone. We're not just talking about what
ugly.
everyone else talks
Definitely
about.
not ugly.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And we should probably zoom in once in a while
Every now and then, yeah.
if
Was it?
if we had that capability.
I was gonna say,
We
was
don't
that Wayne's World? They used to do the zoom in cam,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That won't happen. No. That's
swing cam.
That's Bush League. Swing cam. Right. That's Bush League. We're above Aurora, Illinois standards.
right. Aurora, Illinois public access cable.
Right. How do you get on public access? I mean, they could do it. I mean, we should be on public access TV.
Excellent.
Excellent. Party on. There are some people out there listening that don't know Wayne's World.
I know.
Probably.
It's sad, isn't it?
Ah,
Right.
there are student workers at my workplace that have never seen Back to the Future.
Oh my god.
It's like a crime, right?
Should-
Holy
should-
shit!
They watch Stranger Things and they're like, "Yeah, I don't know what that movie is."
Right? Yeah. Come on.
I saw Back to the Future in the theater 5 days in a row, and because that was back when Cahokia still had
Oh, I didn't go to Cahokia.
the Nova Plaza Cinema, and they would start showing movies at noon, and it was like $2, and it was the summer. What were we gonna do? So we went and watched Back to the Future every day for a week.
I watched the first Back to the Future in the Sinclair 10 in Fairview Heights, first row. And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that movie is why I had to have a pair of Nikes and a skateboard.
Do you guys want to know? I'm not even making this up. What kept me up last night? This could be a fun little segment we could have on our show. What kept Jeff up last night? Because it's always something ridiculous.
I'm gonna guess.
What is
Back
the
to the Future?
second? What is the second best time travel movie? Because we all know
American
all three,
Werewolf. Oh!
all three Back to the Futures go 1, 2, 3 for me.
Time travel. Time Bandits.
Travel. Do you count the latest Endgame? Do you count the latest Marvel movie?
Well, I mean, you have
is that
to,
a
I
time
guess.
travel?
I haven't seen it.
It's time.
They time travel.
It's time travel. Sure, it's time travel.
Spoiler alert: they
There's-
time travel.
Yeah, and they reference Back to the Future, which is
They
They
amazing.
do.
Gonna
They
see.
do reference
fantastic.
Back to the Future.
There's a number of time travel movies, and they all have their own time travel rules,
Yes,
which
they
is
do.
confusing.
Yes.
The worst is the Lake House.
The Lake
I'm just
House.
gonna
Oh my
put it out there.
God.
I'm just gonna put it out there. That is the
That's not up there for me. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never-
I couldn't decide about what my second favorite 'cause
Time travel?
Like I said, I don't count 1, 2, 1,
What's
2,
the
3
one
or-
with
or
Christopher
1, 1.
Reeve where he time travels? It's not Superman because he turns back time to
Yeah, he
save
does.
Lois
'Cause
Lane.
he
from Earthquake.
circles the world.
Yes,
yeah,
which
opposite
was a
way.
weird thing because why not do that every time something bad goes happen?
Right.
Yeah, I
So-
agree.
but
Damn it, Christopher Reeve.
okay, what kept you up?
That was it. What is the
Superman?
second best time travel
Superman?
movie?
no. Just the question.
The question: what is the
Oh.
second best time travel movie?
I thought you said something kept you up last night.
That was what kept me up last night.
Oh, the question.
The question is what
Oh.
kept me up last night. Am I
I
not
thought-
making myself clear?
No, you're not. I thought you meant.
Bill, you got it right.
I thought I was supposed
got
to.
it right
I
away.
thought I was guessing what kept you up. I'm like, Superman. I
that-
don't know.
that-
Endgame.
that is the
Back to the
question
Future
that kept
2.
me
I have
up.
no idea.
So I have two answers for you.
Yeah.
Whiskey
Whiskey. All
or
right.
melatonin.
Yes.
Bill and Ted. That's a
I know,
good time
Bill
travel
and Ted
movie.
was one of the ones I thought of.
That's from Rodney Metz in the YouTube chat. Says Bill and Ted.
Both are great, but obviously,
And
Excellent Adventure.
The third is in the making right now.
I know, and I'm very excited to see it.
Who's signed on for that? Is it
Keanu and
It's all of them,
and
except for George
Alex
Carlin,
Winter.
obviously.
okay?
Right.
What about the what's his name's
Yeah.
mom?
Oh my God! I don't know. I haven't seen who she is.
They are bringing back Death.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that-
second one from Bogus Journey. I love it.
Huh?
So yeah. Now that I say that, you guys are gonna be thinking, well, what
The
is
best
second
time
best?
travel movie. There's been a number of them. I can't. But Back to the Future, obviously. So second best, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard for. I don't want to. I'm grouping 1, 2, and 3 together. For
Right.
Back to the Future.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know. Looper was weird.
Ah,
I didn't like it. I didn't
that
like
was a
Looper.
very-
it was. I mean, it was fine. I don't know. Looper was. I wouldn't even. I don't even recall that as a time travel movie. So
But it was a time travel.
I know. But I'm just saying it wasn't
So
good
would you
enough
say
for me.
Endgame? Maybe. That's the only one I could really.
You know what though?
Think of.
I don't think. To me, a time travel movie, the central focus has to be on time travel, which I'm not ready to say Endgame was. I mean, I know it was a big part of the movie, but like Back to the Future is like all time travel. That's what it's all
So
about.
you know what? I
Hot
finally.
Tub Time Machine.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
You know what I
Yes.
finally stopped on was Donnie Darko.
Oh God, that's a good movie.
I really like Donnie Darko.
That's a
lot.
real good movie.
good movie. Yep.
That's time travel.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been so
It's
long
time
since I've seen
travel.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah,
That's
the only
a
one
good
that I
place
could-
to be like, yep, go to sleep.
Yep. that was what I ended on. Yep. Go to sleep. That's
So
it.
how long were you up looking thinking about this?
I wasn't looking. I was just thinking.
You were just
Men
thinking?
in Black 3 came in my mind.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Austin Powers, all of them, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So here I've got a list of
Can't
time
believe-
travel
This
movies.
is a blues podcast, by the way.
Who cares? X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Oh, that's a great movie. I didn't even think about that.
Is it a good movie? I don't know.
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it personally.
Men in Black
X-Men
3?
Days of Future Past. Nobody.
Hot
No?
Tub Time Machine is on there.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Didn't they travel back in one of the Star Treks? You're right. They did.
They did.
It was God damn it! What movie was that? I gotta look it
Star
up.
Trek 2009 is
Yeah,
on there.
That was
That was the first, the new one. The first of the
Right.
new ones.
the Voyage. The Voyage Home.
The
no,
Star
that wasn't
Trek.
it.
The first one. No, the first
Did
of
they
the new
name
ones.
that one? They didn't have a name.
I don't think so. It's just Star Trek 2009, the one with the new characters. I'm not a big Star Trek guy.
The second
Yeah,
one they had with
I wasn't
when they
either.
had Khan, which
Butterfly
was
Effect.
Benedict Cumberbatch. That was kind of time travel too.
The Lake House is on here.
Oh God! Yeah, you mentioned Butterfly Effect. That was
Butterfly
a
Effect,
movie.
yeah, that's on there.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher, right?
The Time Machine is a movie.
Yeah.
What was the one?
Terminator. The Terminator
the
movies.
Terminator movies.
Yeah.
Yep, that
That
came up too.
is.
That came up in my mind.
That's got to be there.
That
I
is
think
up
I
there.
actually woke my mom. My mom. Oh my God!
Oh.
I woke. Oh wow!
Oh, Jessica,
Talk about
if
time
you're
travel.
listening.
No, and I think I actually woke my wife up when I thought of Terminator because
Yeah.
Terminator came to my mind, and I just go, "Oh,
that's a big one. Time Cop is on there.
Time Cop. Yep, that came up too.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Any movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme can't.
Undiscovered Country. Bob says. I don't know if
Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home was apparently a time travel movie.
Voyage Home. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's a good one.
The Final Countdown. Who's seen that? No, but with the aircraft carrier that goes back in time and has a chance to stop Pearl Harbor.
No, I've never seen that.
It's good.
What
It's
was the one
It's old,
with,
1980.
What's her name? Rachel McAdams. She was
Yeah.
in time travel. I think it was a chick flick. I never saw it.
Yeah.
Like Timekeeper's Wife or something.
Astronaut's Wife. Is
Is that a time travel movie? Or is that about astronauts?
Escape from the Planet of the Apes is apparently time travel. I'm not familiar.
Yes, it is.
I've seen it. I just don't remember.
I've seen all those movies, and I'm such a nerd because I love them all. They're all so terribly good. See, you know what? It's keeping this podcast going longer. So you guys have to at least admit that if you thought about this in the middle, right before you go to sleep, it would probably keep you up too.
I like that. I like that topic. That's good.
Yeah.
So I guess so that's a nice segue back into
That's a possible segment for next year.
yeah the time travel movie of the week.
What keeps you up at night?
Oh, right.
What kept Jeff up at night?
That's
What kept Jeff
That's
up
good.
at night? I do have a lot of weird thoughts like that right as I'm going to sleep.
some of them might not be appropriate for
Some of them I won't be able to mention.
NSFW.
Right.
What did I watch earlier?
What has Jeff been watching? What keeps Jeff up at night? Oh, he's in the bathroom. Are you guys concerned about the lack of turnover on the Blues roster at all? Like we just touched on this a little bit about there's no real new fresh blood. It's all
Hashtag the Blues are Stanley Cup champions.
I get it. But and I think this question was posed online or on Reddit somewhere about if people were concerned that there's no new faces to keep it fresh or so. But I think that the Blues have a number of young guys to
Yeah.
developing.
Yeah.
As far
Mitch
as
Reinke's another one we
Sundqvist,
haven't
Thomas,
mentioned.
Reinke,
Yeah.
Barbashev,
Wallman.
Blay, even Parayko, who is
Yeah.
developing at a pace.
Ridiculous playoff.
Yeah. So I think they're not stagnant as far as player development goes. They've got a number of young guys that were key that should be getting better, that could improve the team, as opposed to making a move in the offseason to improve the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, like, the way that I look at it, and I can't believe I'm saying it this way, if Doug Armstrong feels like there's going to be an issue with that, he's going to make a change in the middle of the year. Like,
In Armstrong, you trust.
I can't believe I'm saying that. I mean, it's true.
How things have changed 2 years ago.
How much? Not even 2 years ago. Fucking 8 months ago. I was saying, get rid of the guy. What the hell? And now it's like the way that he sat on his hands, and I mean that in a good way, when they were struggling.
Right.
Jesus Christ! Like
Well,
everybody was like, move everybody.
Well, he did say that he gave the impression he was on the verge of.
Oh, he was.
And he gave the
had
team
to be.
notice, basically,
Any
saying,
GM would have.
turn this shit around or there's going to be major changes. And I believed it. I mean, I think we all did.
Oh, we all
had
did.
to. I mean, they were terrible.
Yeah.
So, and the team responded. So, good for them.
A guy who can have that kind of patience. I mean, you look at the kind of shit we've seen from other GMs around the league when teams are struggling. They were so reactionary, and you can't blame them. And for Armstrong to just ride it out and say, okay, let's just see what these guys can do. I just feel like if they start getting stagnant, he will make a change. And I mean, we've seen him before. You talk about how he sat on his hands and didn't do anything, and they turned it around. Well, before this year, he was always one to make a quick change if he had to. And so I feel like he will make that change. So I'm not really that concerned about it because it's not like, again, I keep comparing him to the Kings of 2012, that they signed these guys to ridiculous contracts that they did. They couldn't move anybody when they started struggling. These guys can still be moved. You can still move these guys if you absolutely have to. So I'm not concerned about
O'Reilly at 7.5.
Oh, my
that.
God.
At this point, anyone in the league would.
He's the 12th best
Tarasenko.
center in the NHL, according to the recent list put out by whoever it was, NHL.com, whatever. I hate lists. I love and hate lists at the same time. It's just so stupid.
I only pay attention to those for
It's
fantasy.
forced content.
It's forced content. It's just to create discussion and get clicks.
It clicks.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So that's why I love it and hate it at the same time.
Look, real quick argument for me, or real quick reason why I don't buy into it. I mean, Major League 2.
As far as time travel movie?
No, they brought in fresh talent.
Right.
Look what happened.
Jake Parkman.
Right. Yeah.
Or Jack.
Oh.
Jack Parkman.
Jack Parkman.
What do you want me to do? Die for it? That was the first one.
That was the first.
That was the first one. I have never seen the second one.
Second one's all right.
It's worth
Is it better than
watching.
Slapshot 2?
Oh my God, yes. Leaps and bounds.
I never watched Slapshot 2 because that's
Yes.
blasphemy. But
Now, Major League 3 was shit. Don't watch
Back
3.
to the Minors.
Yeah, that was bad.
Scott Bakula.
Yeah, Scott
So
Bakula.
where does Major League 2 pick up? Does it pick up where
Picks up
one
with
left
the
off?
Indians. Yeah.
What,
They-
like
the following,
following
season,
season.
they go out. And
What
sign the-
happened?
They go out.
They signed a big
lost.
name.
They lost in the
they-
playoffs.
Right. They lost to the White Sox, and then they signed the guy that beat them.
Okay.
Which he was in the first one.
He was in the first one?
I
White
heard he
Sox?
was. I heard he actually there was like a scene where he's like batting, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like the same actor.
Okay.
They went and signed him. Jack Parkman. He was a catcher. Right?
The only guy I know
No.
that was in the first one was that Yankees
First
guy
baseman?
that
What was he?
I think he was first baseman.
Yeah,
'cause
maybe that's
the
what-
catcher, because Jake moves on, so they bring up the rookie catcher,
Rube
and-
Baker.
Yeah, who's yeah.
well, Jake's knees were shot.
I was
Yeah,
real
his knees were shot. Hey, and he ends up become manager.
right.
Okay, that's a good role for him.
Yeah.
What was his line? My mom died, and I was real sad. Or no, I got kicked in the nuts by a donkey.
What?
and it hurt, but then my mom died. Right.
I realized
Okay.
my nuts don't hurt anymore.
Ah, that reminds me of a line from Cheers, where the coach says something about, hey, took a phone call and said, hey, Sam, your apartment burned down. Oh, my God, really? No, it's something else less serious. I don't know what it was, but feel better? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. That no. With a team that just won, with as dynamic as it was, and how it was how many times have we heard the team, this group referred to as, the sum of the parts is greater than, the individual components, right? They're dynamic. What are you going to do? Who are you going to bring in? Like, I think that the key thing that didn't happen, that could have, that might be the only thing I would want, are the subtractions that we've talked about.
I think
ad
since
nauseum.
they made qualifying offers to the 9 of the 9 key RFAs, and nobody was a significant UFA that they didn't re-sign. There was nobody to lose, really.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, who are you going to... I mean, it's not like they went out of their way to make sure they signed this guy for a stupid contract to keep him. That didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean that's you look at again the 2010 Blackhawks, a team that completely revamped the roster because they had a guy like Dustin Byfuglien and was it Andrew Ladd and a bunch of other guys who you knew were due for big paydays, but they couldn't retain them because they knew that they eventually were going to have to pay Kane, Toews, Seabrook, and Keith, so they had to
then-
move everybody.
Aren't they making-
they
and then
let
they wound
Niemi
up
go.
overpaying
They were paying them, but I mean, at the same time, they
Right.
brought in other talent, and they had to do that to stay under the cap.
And
the
they
Blues
won
didn't
2
have-
more times.
The Blues did not have to do that because
Right.
they've got guys
No.
that, again, like Curt said, are RFAs,
Right.
guys that were already under contract, guys that, and so it's like, just bring these guys back and see what they can do, if they can reciprocate what they did again.
It pains me of the previous 3 seasons to say this, but Doug Armstrong's done a hell of a job with this, with managing to the cap.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
we are to the cap, and
and-
we still have a very dynamic roster, I believe.
And thanks to Stillman for allowing this team to spend the cap because he doesn't have to do that with his group. So, I mean, if you were to say, we're spending $10 million under, so
and
then we have moves to make.
Double shout out to them for doubling down and buying out the rest of the Checkits group. So it's now
right.
They didn't take their money and cash in. They reinvested.
Right.
That's huge.
Yep. I'm sure Checkit sold high, but whatever.
Well,
Okay.
Fuck
at this
Checkit, yeah.
point, he was a long-term value investor, and that that's just all it is to it.
Bob Bukowski says Roenick. He was the one who made the list for the top 20
That's right.
centers.
Right, and then he had to delete Claude Giroux because he's not a center anymore.
Yeah.
And he didn't choose Toews, which I think caught some flack from Blackhawk fans, which was interesting because Roenick was a Blackhawk. I thought for sure, now that I remember Rukowski saying it was Roenick, I remember saying that because, okay, it's Roenick's list. Where's Toews? Not on there. Holy shit.
Yeah, but O'Reilly at 11.
I know. And after a career year from Toews, too.
Yeah.
Offensively. So.
What does it matter? I mean, he did what he could, but it wasn't nearly enough to get.
Yeah,
that team.
I mean, not his fault. I mean, a list of top centers shouldn't matter how the team plays necessarily. I mean, really,
Yeah.
you're getting an MVP debates there as far as like most valuable player. How valuable of the team are you?
Oh, that's a completely different discussion.
Right.
Yeah.
So
No,
best
I mean,
center.
a guy who plays well at his
Would you
position.
say Toews is a top 20 center?
Oh, I'd say so.
I think so too, but not top
I mean,
10.
Goal scoring is a different story, but in terms of all around production, yeah, I'd put him in the top 10.
Yeah. Well, coming off last season too. I mean,
Yeah.
in their cup years, he was the probably top 5 clutch players in the league.
Yeah, he was.
But
he's one of those guys you just
the
want to have on your team.
entire body of his work. I mean, because they pay him so much money, he's basically been spread too thin.
He is overpaid. That's
He is
for sure.
13, right?
Is it? I thought it was like 12.
12.
I think it's 12, but I think he's making 13.
Yeah.
12 is the cap hit. Kurt's going to look that up,
I'm gonna look it up.
and I'm going to vamp. Good night, Saigon Moon. That's how that song goes, right?
No, you should.
He makes 10.5. Well, cap hits 10.5.
But he makes.
Bonuses, man.
Yeah.
$2,800 billion.
$6 million in bonuses.
Dang.
Wait. Base salary. Okay, wait, no, sorry. Base salary. Well, that's 2019. Okay, this season's base salary for Toews 3.8. But he's got like a bonus of 6 million, so his total salary is 9.8. Cap hits 10.5.
Okay.
Which
That's
is
a
what
little
it
better
is.
than I thought.
Cap hits 10.5. And it's the same for Kane, right? Kane's
Yeah,
the same.
yeah,
right?
they signed
Yeah.
matching contracts.
That's what I thought. So
Which
Kane,
Kane's much more productive than Toews.
much more productive.
Toews is better defensively. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would rather have Kane on my team just because he can produce more.
You know, I think with the whole.
I'm talking about on the ice.
Right, I
on
know.
the ice, that's it.
His whole off the ice controversy that he had a while
would
back.
rather
I was
have
like,
Toews if you include that.
I was like, I do not want Kane on my team because
No.
people would tell me, "Oh, you'd want him on your team if the option." I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I hate that guy, and I would not want him on the team for the off ice distractions. And I think I still feel that way. I don't like. I mean, maybe it's a rivalry thing. I'm sure it is. I just don't like him. I mean, he's a fantastic player. I just hate the guy.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think if he ever goes anywhere other than Chicago, it's got to be Buffalo. He'll
right.
play his sunset years there. I don't know.
Hopefully he
maybe-
doesn't take a cab while he's there.
Hopefully, he has cab fare while he's there.
Hopefully.
Because that was the issue, right?
Yeah, it was.
He didn't have cab fare.
Was
Hopefully
35
he's an
cents.
Uber guy now.
Was it
Yeah,
35 cents?
it was like
that
it was like a I don't know what.
Real quick story. You
How's that
guys,
even
I
work?
think I've told this on the show before. I'm not sure, but I met Eric Johnson when he was still with the Blues. It was about
On a golf course?
no,
Oh.
it was actually at a Total Hockey. It was about 4 months after all that happened with Kane, and I was like, hey man, you mind if we take a picture real quick? He's like, yeah, sure. I gave him a quarter, and I said, hey man, would you mind holding this up and saying "fuck you, Kane"? And he laughed and he goes, man, it was like 35 cents, wasn't it? I go, yeah, but I've only got a quarter. And he goes, that's all right. We'll still take the picture. So we took a picture together. He's holding up a 25 cents.
That's funny.
It was awesome.
Whatever.
God,
Kane.
I'll have to find that picture and share it. That was a good one.
please do.
The Blues on NBC. But real quick, last thing we'll talk about.
Don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't care.
well, okay. So for those, the NBC released their NHL TV schedule for the upcoming 1920 season. Not a single game on NBC, the parent network, but there are 15 Blues games on NBCSN.
So here's the thing. If you want to watch the Blues on NBC, you're talking about Sunday at 11 a.m. Do you really want to watch a Blues game at that point?
No, and I think notoriously Blues games the Blues have not fared too well. Afternoon games.
Just an applicator broken stick goal.
Oh,
That's
Which my
that's the one,
daughter,
right?
like years ago, my daughter still brings it up. Hey, what was the Red Wings player who scored a broken stick?
Right.
I was livid.
Right, because they had to get to whatever golf event was already underway.
Yeah.
So
I was
no time for a
pissed.
replay.
So pissed. But yeah, so that was a thing on social media. People were all pissed off, and I'm like, you know what? I think if you ask me if the Blues should be on NBC a couple times this season, they're defending Stanley Cup champs. Well, yeah, they fucking should be on NBC. Do I really care? No, I don't. I mean, I'll get to watch the games, whatever station they're on. I don't care. But it is a little weird to see this defending Stanley Cup champs not on NBC at all, and to see Pittsburgh and Washington on a zillion times each.
Yeah, but that's natural for them because at least for Washington, because Washington and Philly. I know Philly's another team that's got a bunch because they've got to compete with the basketball in that market.
I get it. I like watching Pittsburgh and Washington play. I do. But it's just I think I didn't look it up, but somebody said it's unprecedented that if the defending Stanley Cup champs aren't on NBC at least once. Mm-hmm. So, which is weird. But I don't really care. It's just
it's odd. It
is odd. I don't.
You think about like I know it's a bad example because New England Patriots are America's team at this point, I guess.
Oh,
if yes,
fuck.
if
No,
yes,
come on.
NBC
Stop
or,
it. Stop it.
No. But that's what
Jesus.
the networks would tell us. But
I like to watch them to root against them.
Me too.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, if that would be like if nationally televised, they did not show a New England Patriots game.
It'd be weird.
What the hell?
It'd be weird.
And you know what? I have not looked, and they may not have even announced it yet. But I bet if you look at nationally televised games in America for NBA, I bet the Toronto Raptors are on there. I bet they will show Toronto Raptors games because they won the championship.
Oh, right. Did they?
So, yes, they did.
I
Yes.
don't pay attention.
The Toronto Raptors are the NBA champions.
Did. You're right.
Weird as that sounds. I bet they will show Toronto games because they won the championship. So it is weird that they're not showing the Blues on NBC.
It's weird.
But like you said, I'm
Do
100%
care?
with you. I don't give a shit.
No, I don't care either.
I don't care. Because you know what? They won the fucking cup.
No, yeah.
So I don't care.
Who cares? It's their loss.
Yeah.
And again, it's time slot. It's
I know.
Sunday afternoon. Sunday, not even. It's the Sunday brunch game.
What kind of confuses me of the issue? Again, I'll reiterate and stress: I don't care, but the Blues do draw really good ratings on national TV.
Right. And
top five.
Right.
They're top five all the time.
Right. That's why they're on NBCSN 15 times.
I understand that, but you would think
Not
that,
even to talk about ratings. You think about like merchandise sales.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God.
everything. I mean, they're killing it right now.
And you wonder. I would like to know the thought process. Like you said, I guess it's ratings, but I mean, like I said, the Blues get really good ratings. You put a Blues Blackhawks game on, NBC, it's going to draw tremendous.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but Rodney Metz says there were only 2 Western Conference matchups on NBC as well. One is the Winter Classic.
Yeah, one Little Classic, yeah.
So
yeah, I mean it's Washington, Pittsburgh, Rangers, Boston. I mean nothing changes.
Right.
It's always the same teams.
Rakowski said, "Got to find a new provider anyway because Fox Sports Midwest isn't on Sling anymore. Now I got to make sure they have NBC too. They're going to go back on Sling.
Who is this? This is Bob?
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
Bob, I got your email. I got an alternative for you.
Okay.
I don't want to say it on air.
Okay, got it. Well, I mean, because being someone who is on Spectrum was me, I've been looking into Sling, Hulu TV, YouTube TV, and a couple others. But Sling is the only one that has NHL Network, as far as like the legal ways to go get streaming.
What I'm doing is not illegal. I want to point that out.
Okay.
It's just through someone who does it privately.
Okay.
But I'm sure he'd be fine if he knew that I was doing it
Sure.
for a friend of the show.
Okay. But so as far as the major Hulu, YouTube, Sling is the only one that offers NHL Network. So if I were to switch from what I have now, Spectrum, which on my package I don't have the NHL Network, I would go to something that does have NHL Network, which would be Sling. And right now, They don't have Fox Sports Midwest, so that's a no go for me right now. They'll fix that. It's
gonna happen.
Yeah, well, it happens all the time with Spectrum, with DirecTV, Dish Network. There's always a debate with some station as far as like, oh, well, we're not negotiating, and
Right. DirecTV didn't have the Weather Channel for over a year.
so and well when I first got DirecTV, I moved to my new house. First got DirecTV, they had a conflict with Versus, and that
Yeah, I
was
remember
when
that. Yeah,
was when the
that's- I
Blues
had it
were
too.
in Europe,
Yeah, I had that too.
and so
I had to go over to my buddy's house. He had a dish, and
Yeah.
I had to watch it on his.
I had to find a sports bar that had Dish Network, which is
told
hard
this
to do.
story- We've told this story numerous
Yep.
times. We
Yep.
wound up at the Hut
Bill,
in O'Fallon,
Bill,
Illinois.
and myself and our friend Tommy, we went to the Hut in O'Fallon. Yeah, that was the only place in the area that had Dish Network at a sports bar, and it was great. And
And we were
they have
the only-
fantastic hamburgers too.
Right, yeah, the only non-regulars in that joint.
Right.
If the Hut would like to sponsor
Right.
Let's Go Blues Radio, you can find us at
There were like
radio.com.
4 people in there at the time.
Nicely done.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it was.
I got
I,
the email down now. I can do it.
I enjoyed that day. It was funny. So, Rodney Metz says. I like VSIN on Sling as well. What is that?
Not
VSIN.
sure what VSIN is, but look it up, folks.
Yeah, I too am at the precipice of cutting the cord, and
I'd like to.
And one of my things this week is to price out the alternatives.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Here's the deal though with some of them is that when you their packages, when you get what you want, and then I want the sports package, because that's I would have to have that, and that's an extra cost. And then all of a sudden, so with Spectrum, I'm bundling TV, internet, phone, and so I get a discounted rate for that. So in the end, if I cancel TV with Spectrum,
Your
my other
internet
services
goes
go up. And then so I end up saving like $30 a month, which is nice, but it's a lot less convenient. And there are limitations with some of the streaming providers, which some people might be fine with, but it might not affect them. But with my kids here and the number of streams at the same time, blah 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 blah. So it might not be worth the hassle for me, in particular, personally, to do. But I'm looking into it. So maybe I will. Probably not, but I'm looking into it.
Rodney says it's a sports betting channel. That's VSIN, Vegas Sports and Vegas Sports and Information Network.
Speaking of betting, I talked about how I wagered on the Blues in the playoffs and I won and oh my God, cash in the check I got for winning against the Bruins.
That felt so good.
It will when it goes through, because it's a pain in the ass to cash a foreign check at a bank. It sucks. And apparently you can't tell them you won it from gambling. So I'm not going to do that. If my bank is listening, I don't.
I was going to say, you just did that on air, buddy.
But
Check that from the record.
Yeah, but so I tried to do it via the the mobile bill pay with a check deposit with my phone. Oh, you can't do it. You got to take it to the branch because a foreign check. Okay, whatever. Took it to the bank. Oh well, we got to send it off to get whatever, and it might be a while. So we'll call you back. Okay, I've been waiting like 4 or 5 days for this to, and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get this deposited. That'd be nice. So, yeah. So if you ever gamble online and you request a payout, apparently do Bitcoin, because apparently you can get a deposit in your account, your checking account, a lot quicker, a lot easier, a lot less hassle than with a check they send you.
Because of my job and kind of what I do, it's like I'm pretty up with technology and what thing. And Curt, I know you're the same. Bill, I don't know where you're at. You might still be using MS DOS. I don't know.
He's a Windows Vista guy. He's a Windows Vista guy.
Ubuntu.
Yeah, I did used to work.
Good on you, sir.
I did used to work at the
I'm
same
kidding.
place you did, and I will say that they're a little behind on some stuff.
Hey, that's the workplace.
Strip club, that is, though.
Right.
But anyway, so no, it's I don't understand Bitcoin. at all.
I don't either, but if I ever have this situation happen again, which I doubt will happen, I'm gonna look into it and see if it's an option, because apparently it's quite easy once you like understand it. But whatever.
I guess that's probably what the issue is. I've never tried to understand it.
I haven't really tried either.
Yeah, it's
You need a wallet of some kind online.
I was gonna say, if anyone
it's-
here understands, it's probably Bill.
well,
Probably let him talk.
No, I won't get into it. But it is a lot of complicated things that. Yeah, I've read very long think pieces on it, and I'm like, yeah, not worth it.
All right, good to know.
You know, I do know people that have a lot of their money dispersed across different coins, and yeah, there's a lot of risk in it. That I don't know, I am a naturally risk averse person, and when it
blame
comes
you.
to money, and
So you diversify. You're not an all-in-one basket kind of guy.
generally no.
Yeah.
But no,
We're not supposed to talk about this stuff on the show.
Well, we could
I
have
just
gone.
realized
We could have gone to a lot darker, like a lot of places, like you talking about you not telling your bank.
That's a good point.
No, I mean I didn't
I'm
do
gonna
anything
stay
wrong.
away from that.
I didn't do anything wrong. I don't think banks
wanna
like to.
strike this from the
I don't
show.
think banks like to cash foreign checks. It's a hassle, and that's all I'm saying. I don't know what the problem is.
Right.
Other than that, I'm
So,
not-
hey, you guys know the Blues won the Stanley Cup in 2019?
Wait, did they?
Yeah, they did.
2019.
Yep.
You don't say.
I do
Win the
say.
cup, you say.
I do say.
Man,
What a show, guys.
Yeah, we're coming up on midnight.
Yeah, we are.
I got to drive back to wherever the hell I'm from.
yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap this show up.
Happy 200, guys.
Yeah. The 200th show was a fun show.
It was fun for us. I don't know about anybody else.
We've got this may be the most listeners we've had at the end of a 2-hour show.
That's true.
2.5 hour show. Jeez. really?
800,000 people listening right now.
Did you guys tune in late because we can't open it up?
Yeah.
The hangouts,
Yeah.
the hangouts don't allow it.
Yeah, we gotta
Because the hangouts
we
don't
will-
exist no
I
more.
do promise. We Curt and I would say Bill, but it's not really true. Curt and I will figure out how to
damn
get that
straight.
to work for next season.
It'll happen. It's just a matter of which direction we want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple options we've been exploring. Was it August 1st that they did
August
away with
1st, Google Hangouts on air was
that?
sunset.
Ceased
Sunsetted.
to exist.
Yeah.
So you can still do like one-to-one.
Yeah,
hangouts,
I think they still
but
have those.
Not on air.
Not
Not
on air.
online.
Yeah,
you can
they-
do like texting Hangouts,
Yeah.
but you can't do what we used to do. No. So, but there are other options.
And thanks, Bob. Bob says happy 200th, fellas. Rodney says happy 200. Thanks, guys. I mean, this is. Kurt, come on, seriously. When we started the show in 2011, do we really think we were ever going to reach 200 episodes?
We started this because it was we just wanted to talk hockey,
Yeah.
and it was fun, and we weren't getting the satisfaction from the terrestrial radio stations. So it was just.
Right.
I mean,
and
and-
in 2019, after the Blues are Stanley Cup champions, am I right about that?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think so.
Some people still have to suffer through Brad Thompson talking about the Blues.
And
Whereas
interviewing with Shinsky.
Right. Whereas you could just tune into us or a bevy of other
Yeah.
great local podcasts.
Preferably us, but yeah, if you want to settle, somebody else. But yeah, preferably us. I mean, let's be honest. Come on. I mean, really.
we haven't had to change our name in the last couple months. Like
Right.
those two guys, no cup fools.
Right. Good guys, they are.
But
Can we
fools.
find
The-
can we find space in our name for the word hockey?
I don't know. Can we? I mean, everyone else does. I mean,
Let's go hockey blues.
t-
Radio.
t-
Go
two guys.
Blues
Two guys.
Hockey Radio.
Yes.
The two guys. No cups should have changed their guys to two guys. Second place at the trivia contest, right?
Yeah, that
They
makes
should have.
more sense.
Because
Two guys second place
Two guys
to Let's
second
Go Blues
place.
Radio. Yeah.
right,
two guys second
guys-
place.
Right. Two guys one cup is just no.
No.
We should, you know,
Two
if
guys,
we-
one
if-
cup. That's funny.
If we have that trivia contest next year, we should have a wager that at the start of each show, you have to say if you were second place.
That's a lot of pressure. I mean, we did win the head-to-head trivia contest with them. So, but that's a lot of pressure.
I'm not worried.
No, I'm not.
We won it in the last round too.
We did. We came from behind too. That was fantastic. And,
Bring it on, Steven. Bring it on, Ian.
and we have Bill. So what else you need?
Well, and we
Most
also
attractive
had-
person
we also
in the
had
room,
Jeff
usually.
Jones. And,
We did. Jeff Jones.
Bree?
Bree, yeah, Euripides at
Euripides, yeah.
on
She had
Twitter.
an awesome Twitter name.
Yeah. Saw Jeff Jones before Game 6. He was completely drunk and had no idea
And-
who I was.
And
So-
and Amy, who contributed next to nothing.
Yeah, she was there.
She was a presence.
She was a presence. She was moral support.
Calming presence.
Okay, yes.
She is. She's yeah. She's always a presence.
Chris Ziegler says, love listening to y'all. Keep it up. Also enjoying the summer series with other podcasters. Thanks, Chris.
Sweet.
I really, really do appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
It's a good listen if you haven't checked it out.
Dan says, glad to be a new member. Thanks from Ohio.
Yeah.
Well, how about that? We got a listener from
A
Ohio.
new member.
Kyoto, Japan, and Ohio.
I didn't know we had members.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds professional.
Yeah.
We should get jackets and everything.
Whoa, yeah, yeah. Hey, for those of you who haven't checked it out, we have a shop at letsgoblues.com. We sell T-shirts and stuff.
I believe they're reasonably priced.
They are reasonably priced T-shirts. But no, they're pretty cool.
We should get member jackets put on there.
Members only. Yeah, Let's Go Blues members only. That's funny.
I like that.
I like that.
Did you give me a scoop neck? I mean, that
Shouldn't be a scoop
big.
neck, is it?
Oh, you wash it, that thing shrinks down like crazy.
Yeah.
Kurt's
all right.
or Bill's upset because the shirt I got him, which he hasn't paid me for, apparently isn't what he wanted.
Might not be paying you for it.
It's a pretty sharp looking shirt.
It is. It's beauty.
It's beauty fish.
I may be walking around the St. Louis Zoo in the next 48 hours wearing this.
Oh,
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Bob says got lots of compliments on mine. I
Oh.
think he got one of the shirts.
Here's a
Right?
shirt. Which
Bob did?
which one did you get, Bob? Before we sign off here.
Let's just sit here and
Contest
wait
winner?
quietly.
Yeah,
sit here and wait
we'll just
quietly
wait.
till he
Yeah,
responds.
Just shh, quiet until he responds.
Wait, he's texting. He's texting.
Yes. Oh,
Well, again, thank you everybody for listening. The fact that this show has made it 200 episodes is crazy to me. I never thought we'd be there. So thank you very much. everybody,
crazy,
for
but not
listening.
surprising.
No, it's not, because we have good content.
We do.
Honestly,
I think
we
so.
do. And doing the show with you guys has been a lot of fun. And obviously, we wouldn't do this if people weren't listening. So thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah.
PBR style, Bob says.
Nice.
Yeah, there's
right.
if you go to the blues shop, the letsgoblues.com shop, there's a PBR style shirt, and it is great. It's an awesome shirt.
There's a PBR style shirt. There's a stag beer. What is a beer theme? A couple shirts. Stag beer
I heard
mashup.
there was a Stag Beer brewery out here in Illinois.
Oh,
Is that true?
I believe it was in Belleville, Illinois.
Yeah.
We can give you
Did you know
directions.
somebody who worked there?
My dad worked there. Yeah,
it
back in the day.
was.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that before.
Yeah.
We can give you directions how to go by there on your way home.
The old place, the big smokestack is gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's there now. I can't remember.
Strip club.
Anyhow, that'll do
The
it.
East side.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate it. Episode number 200 was. I want to wrap it up here. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Curt Price. That will conclude this week's broadcast of Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Play Gloria.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Sport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at sports.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight.